Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, I guarantee you, this would probably be one of my best lives of 20 best live YouTube lives in 2022. All right. This is going to be educational and it's going to be very entertaining. Okay. Well, let me say this. It's going to be very humorous. This one will be very other lives was more serious. This one will be very educating and very humorous. I mean, we're laughing at serious encounters. It's not supposed to be funny, but sometimes movies are intended to be funny, but you might find a scene in the movie that just was hilarious to you. It might have been the way somebody defended themselves. It might be the way somebody actually inherited their father's inheritance or their estate. Sometimes it's somebody getting their butt kicked or getting shot. You know, some things are just getting their head chopped off by Jason. Some things and the way it's done is just humorous, and there's no way to like block that out. Everybody intake on information and what they're watching is different. Sometimes people get it real fast. Sometimes people get it in the delayed fashion. That's me. But let me first. Oh, okay. It's a couple of things I want to do. So let me first run the Rico video back. All right. So what I'm saying is that this live, I got things more organized where I'm not over the place. I got things more organized in this live. So I'm going to replay the Rico, and when we get enough people here, I'll get into the title, which is again, it's going to be educational and very humorous to some people. To me, I was laughing my ass off. It was just funny as hell, right? Because I don't just got black Moors, I got white Moors too. And when I say Moors, I'm defining it in a unique way. And you'll see later what I mean by Moors. But you got white people being pulled over by police officers and getting the business from the police officers, and you got black folks who are not getting like physically the business. Like they're getting the other business, which is traffic violations, shit like that. Yeah, but this one is going to be very peace, new black world order. Once I get into the subject matter, it's going to be very humorous. I'm going to play the Rico. I'm going to run the Rico video I made back. And then when a certain amount of people get in here, like usually my average audience, I go into today's lesson. I mean, not today's lesson, but today's live. So let me just first let me run back the RICO thing, dealing with Young Thug and other black artists, black rappers that's gonna eventually share the same fate if they don't clean up their act. All right, here we are. You don't know who she is. She's the district attorney of Atlanta, Georgia. Fani T. Willis. Beautiful, sensitive, highly educated, and smart. Right? So let's go here next. RICO stands for, that's an acronym for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. It is a United States federal law. It's the Fed's problem here, not a state's problem. It's a United States federal law that provides for extended criminal penalty. All right, so I'm just going into RICO real fast because some people who missed out on this, but I will get into today's show after this. It's very humorous and very educational. So you might want to check in for this one. This is probably one of my best lives, YouTube lives of the year. And no cap. I mean, like, that's how I felt when I put this, the way I organized this is very smooth. And a civil cause of action for acts performed as part of an ongoing criminal organization, right? Let me pause that there. Let me get rid of that. And let me go here next. Okay. Under RICO, a person who has committed at least 2 acts of racketeering activity drawn from a list of 35 crimes. 27 of those 35 are federal crimes, and 8 of the 35 are state crimes, all within a 10-year period. Okay, so you think you're getting away with your stuff, they're purposely letting you get away with it. So you can fit this requirement when they start the application for you. Within a 10-year period can be charged with racketeering. So it got to be 10 years. Guys, listen to what I'm reading. Within a 10-year period can be charged with racketeering if such acts are related in one of 4 specified ways to an enterprise. Those found guilty of racketeering can be fined up to $25,000 and sentenced to 20 years in prison. So when I'm reading these words, please think of Young Thug and Gunna and those 25 or 28 left people who are locked up. And the other 2 that Fani T. Willis said that they're looking at. You're looking at other high-profile rappers, okay? Lil Baby is rumored to be one of them. So, those found guilty of racketeering can be fined up to $25,000 and sentenced to 20 years. Think of Young Thug. Every time I say racketeering or anything I read where some time, some fine, think of Young Thug. Young Thug, if he's found guilty of racketeering, can be fined up to $25,000 and sentenced to 20 years in prison per racketeering count, per count. In addition, the racketeer must forfeit all ill-gotten gains. So everything you have acquired from racketeering are no longer yours during your trial. And interest in any business gain through a pattern of racketeering activity. So anything any business you extorted, no longer yours, gone. Okay, let's get to the next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. It gets worse. Okay. A U.S. attorney named Fani T. Willis, who decides to indict someone under RICO, has the option of seeking a pretrial restraining order or injunction to temporarily seize a defendant's assets and prevent the transfer of potentially forfeitable property, and to require the defendant to put up a performance bond That provision was placed in the law because of the owners of mafia-related shell corporations. Shell corporations are bullshit companies as guys to, I guess, money launder for the illegal activities. But it's a bullshit. It's a front. It's a front to cover for the illegal activity, the illegal racketeering activity. Is YSL a front? I think that's legit. So that won't probably fall in that. But shell companies, okay, often absconded with the assets. So these shell companies, once they get locked up for racketeering, or is rumored, they will take all the assets out of those shell companies and stash them somewhere. The money and the cars, whatever, stash them somewhere. Tools. So they are aware of that. An injunction or performance bond ensures that there is something to seize in the event of a guilty verdict. Because once you're found guilty, those possessions you have will go to somebody, and it's going to be the victims of your racketeering. Okay? Or the state will take them. But you will no longer have those possessions. That's what they get into. Okay, slide number 4. Slide number 4. Slide number 4. In many cases, the threat of a RICO indictment can force, so the threat of a RICO indictment can force defendants to plead guilty to lesser charges. In many cases, the threat of a RICO indictment can force Young Thug to plead to guilty or lesser charges, in part because of the seizures of assets will make it difficult to pay, will make it difficult for Young Thug to and Gunna to pay a defense attorney. Despite its harsh provisions, a RICO-related charge is considered easy to prove. Oh my God, they're in trouble in court since it focuses on patterns of behavior as opposed to criminal acts. Behavioral patterns, not what you physically have done. RICO also permits a private individual damage in his business or property by a racketeer. So a victim of this racketeer to file a civil suit against the racketeer. The plaintiff must prove the existence of an enterprise. So you must prove the existence of an enterprise, and all you gotta do is look up the feds already did the research for you. Just take that research and there you go. The defendant or defendants are not the enterprise. So Young Thug is not the enterprise. In other words, or Gunna, the defendant or defendants and the enterprise are not one and the same, like an LLC. Okay. Now we're getting to it. That's slide number 4. Now it's slide number 5. This is a lot of research I did for it. I mean, a couple of hours, big. And all this is my copy and paste and formatted so beautifully for you. It didn't look this good on Wikipedia and other websites. There must be one of 4 specified relationships between the defendant or defendant and the enterprise. Either the defendant or defendants invested the proceeds of the pattern of racketeering activity into the enterprise, or the defendant or as defendants acquired or maintained an interest in or control of the enterprise through the pattern of racketeering activity. Number 3, or the defendant, or plural, conducted or participated in the affairs of the enterprise through the pattern of racketeering activity. Or 4, or the defendant conspired to do one of the above. Right? PC sent Haskell me. Now we're getting somewhere. Slide number 6. This is gonna hurt. This is what's gonna bankrupt, or this was gonna possibly bankrupt Young Thug and Gunna. Anyone worthy of any high esteem, any money. This is what's gonna bankrupt them, or possibly bankrupt them, right here. Both the criminal and the civil components allow the recovery of treble damages What is treble damage? What is treble damages? I will bring it to you. Everybody covered this story, but they never mentioned treble damages. I wonder how much research they did. This is triple the amount of actual compensatory damages. So if you were going to seek compensation damages from Young Thug because he shot at you, he hit you with a bullet, he robbed you, extorted you, and you were going to seek compensation damages of $1 million. Well, because he's involved in a racketeering scheme, you can triple that amount to legally $3 million. So if it was anybody else that was absent of a racketeering case, you can only sue for your $1 million, your $500,000, your $30,000, your $500. But because he's part of a racketeering investigation, he's been found guilty of racketeering, you can multiply that original amount times 3, and you will win that. Okay, most likely you'll win. That's called treble damages. Right? Moving along. In United States law, treble damages is a term that indicates that a statute permits a court to triple the amount of the actual compensatory damages to be awarded to a prevailing plaintiff. Treble damages are a multiple of and not addition to. So it's not something added to the amount. You just multiply by 3. Actual damages in some instances. On occasion, there are additives. So in some occasions, there are added amounts, right? On occasion. So whatever you got, whatever you're going to be awarded, whatever amount you'll be awarded, sometimes there is an additional amount. When such damages are multiplicative and a person receives an award of 100 for an injury, a court applying treble damages will raise the award to 300. You see, time 3, like I said, time 3. Some statutes mandate awards of treble damages for all violations. That's gonna hurt. So if they got them for extorting, murder, oh my God, times 3 each one. Some states, you better hope Atlanta, Georgia ain't one of them. All right, next. So it's probably this next one. Let me see what the chat talking about. I gotta be nosy. Okay, so no ma'am, everybody stay in peace. Haskell says, man, going to Joe Sex with a I already read that. Decent says the theory is someone has something, so check every car. You can right. And with the rentals, man, with the right lawyer, they gotta prove that wasn't there before you. Like, I don't know how you could, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like that last brother and sister, his girlfriend, man, they were the smartest so far from all these traffic stops. They were the only ones we know to the DA didn't even want to touch them. They said, nah. Fannie T. Willis said, nah. Them two we ain't gonna touch. Because this, we got nothing. Although we found some cocaine worth $100,000 in his car, or the car he was possessing, the sloppy police work and the fact it's a rental and we can't prove that's his, because where it was hidden in the trunk is not like in the back seat or somewhere in the front seat where you can say, yeah, you seen that? Or the glove compartment, because it's not in the hidden in the trunk below the spare tire. It's possible the last guy, especially that car, was in a shootout. So they didn't want to touch that one. They said, nah, but you got it. So he got that off. Well, he's out of $100,000 with the product, so he got to see his boss on that one. But if his boss is a businessman in that field, he should understand the risk. When they transport, it's a likelihood that they'll be caught. But he should be proud that the money was seized and nobody was caught, because then nobody snitched. And he's safe. You dig? Let me clear my throat. The idea. Now watch this, because the logic behind treble damages, treble, Treble. The idea behind treble damages is that they will encourage citizens who are normally afraid to be involved. They want to encourage those people to sue for violations that are harmful to society in general and deter the violator from committing future violations. Although RICO's primary intent. So now, Tariq Nasheed, what made you think that RICO was invented for the mob only? See? That's nigga babble. That's prison garbage. Although RICO's primary intent was to deal with organized crime is far, that's a huge net, larger than just mafia stuff, extortions and murders, other things I'm going to show you. Remember Ocean's 11? Remember Ocean's 11, Ocean 12, Ocean 13? They get caught. RICO. That's organized crime. Now you got a better picture of what RICO is, right? Organized crime. Got to be organized. Ocean's 11, RICO. Who watched The Town? Who watched Casino? No, I'm sorry. Who watched Heat? Who watched Heat for Robert De Niro when he went to the bank? Organized crime. Who watched The Town? Possibly organized crime. Possibly. Them in Heat, organized crime, possibly. You dig? Although RICO's primary intent was to deal with organized crime, it wasn't supposed to only apply to the mob. Congress didn't want one set of rules for blue collar, or excuse that right there. I meant blue collar. The D was a mistake. Okay, I was typing real fast. I got hella slides. Okay, not a lot, but I got like maybe almost 20 slides in a short period of time. So I was thinking of collard greens, you dig? So please, so blue set. So for those who collars are white, and you see the double. You see it got collars. You see, there you go. I got an S there. Sentences didn't make any sense altogether. But this is me trying to hurry up. So let me just clear it up right here. Color time. The time. So Smith. So yeah, that those black thing perfectly, man. That robbed that jewelry store so smooth, without anybody getting hurt, without them even raising a gun towards somebody. They suspect, when they was a detective, they would have automatically thought the person who robbed that pastor, who should have been robbed, by the way, that wasn't funny. Yeah, that pastor, the money he got was legal, right? The church willingly gave it to him. What he does with it is his own business, and the church didn't complain, so it's not a scam. It's not a scam. It only begins to become a scam is when your clients or customers complain. The church didn't complain. They felt like that's money well spent. So don't hate on his hustle. Don't hate. Don't watch his pocket. It's legal money. Don't hate. We only hate when it's illegal. When it's illegal. Okay, we don't hate when it's legal. So now we disapprove what he does with the money because what he's supposed to represent, what he stands for. But the church gives the nod, says none of our business. We're not a part of that church. We don't donate to that church. We don't patronize that church. We don't pray with the church. We don't do anything with the church, with that particular church. That's none of our business. No different than a real estate company or a car lot. The owner can F the money up by spending lavishly with material stuff. You know what I mean? That's private. That's amongst them. So, but anyway, an ex-detective said that he would have right away suspected that the people who did that heist so smooth did that church also, because that thing was smooth as well, without any resort or any inclination of violence. You dig? So those brothers are very smooth and they're good at what they do. And I hate to condone illegal activities and I hate bum niggas, but damn, I'm amazed with them brothers. I hope they don't get caught. I'm sorry. I said it. They get all this stuff back. Hopefully, I hope they actually stop heist. See, I like Ocean's 11. It's, okay, am I done? I'm done here. But like I said, those typos, I actually could have for him. It wasn't supposed to only apply to the mob. Congress didn't want one set of. It wasn't. Although RICO's primary intent was to deal with organized crime, it wasn't supposed to only apply to the mob. Congress didn't want one set of rules for blue. God damn, that D right there. Nobody. Oh my God. Yo, how did? God. I already. Yeah, nah, those definitely crickets. Okay, I'm outside. Y'all know how to do it. I'm outside every night. Say if someone goes to war with me, my heart, my family, I'm snitching, and I don't give a f. But it depends. What will hurt your word? Yeah, yeah, man. I'm saying right now. So, yeah, right now. It's self-preservation over here. I can't give you 4 hours of my time, let alone years. It ain't happening, is there? Chauncey, peace. Blessing that part. Goodfellas. Yeah, I was gonna say Goodfellas. I was gonna say Goodfellas. I was gonna say Goodfellas. But since I say he did his time in court. But it's conducted since you guys dealing with these young do the same thing. The states versus saying off the mafia, but rather a bunch of postal burglars who collaborated criminally in an organized crime fashion. Okay, they were not mafia. They were a bunch of postal burglars, and they got hit off. They got hit up, knocked off. Yeah, I never watched The Godfather. To be honest, I never watched The Godfather. But what's the movie? What's the movie? I watched it. Right, so I dealt with Giuliani. So before he was mayor, he was a district attorney. In 1986, Rudy Giuliani indicted 11 organized crime figures, including the heads of New York's so-called five families. Under the RICO Act, also Latin Kings were caught up in this. A lot of people were caught up in this RICO charge. And Latin King is not mafia. Under the RICO Act, on charges including extortion, labor racketeering, and murder for hire, Time magazine called the case of cases. Possibly, let me read that over. Time magazine called the case of cases possibly the most significant assault on the infrastructure of organized crime since the high command of Chicago Mafia was swept away in 1943. Postal burglaries, I don't know. I did not research that. I'm like, but gang to fraud. So Spanky, Jamar, these bunch of dudes, black dudes. Rashawn, yeah, these are black. When was this? I think I read it in 79. Yeah, 79. Wow. 110 games. The meaning of racketeering activity includes any violation of state statutes against gambling, murder, kidnapping, extortion, arson, robbery, bribery, dealing in obscene matter, or dealing in a controlled substance or listed chemical as defined in the Controlled Substance Act. Any act of bribery, counterfeiting, theft, embezzlement, fraud, dealing in obscene matter, obstruction of justice, slavery, racketeering, gambling, money laundering, commission of murder for hire, and many other offenses covered under the Federal Criminal Code Title 18. Okay, so now I'm going to warn you. They're going to show a Roman numeral number, and I ain't gonna be able to read it to you. You got to tell me what it is. I don't read Roman numerals. Okay, I must have skipped it. I gotta go back. Also included was embezzlement of union funds. That's definitely mafia. Bankruptcy fraud or securities fraud. Drug trafficking, long-term and elaborate drug networks can also be prosecuted using the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute. Criminal copyright infringement, money laundering, and related offenses, bringing in, aiding, or assisting aliens in illegally entering the country if the action was for financial gain. That makes me want to look up next time I do a story on Black Mafia, BMS. Interesting. I like that story, and I also want to do on Jeff Fort. I think true story and brought up Jeff Fort, somebody. But I think I skipped one. And yeah, I skipped something. I apologize. I skipped something. So let me go back. And I haven't even had time to even Google what Roman numeral this is. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now so I can make a fool of myself. Okay, so let's see what this means. This is, oh my God. Oh, 9. Okay, I got it. It's 9. Okay, so it was enacted as Title 9 of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970. I forgot this slide. It's supposed to have been presented. And sign it. So it's giving a history of the act. Okay. So it was enacted as Title 9 of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 and signed into law by U.S. President Richard M. Nixon. While its original use in the 1970s was to prosecute the mafia as well as others who were actively engaged in organized crime, its later application has been more widespread. Racketeering is a type of organized crime in which the perpetrators set up a coercive, fraudulent, extortionary, or otherwise illegal coordinated scheme of operation, a racket, to repeatedly or consistently collect a profit. So money, 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 money. All right. Let me move on. Slide. I got slides. So, okay, so I ended the history, the origins, and the definition of RICO. So now we're going to go into Georgia. We're going to magnify Georgia because this is the latest big news where it came from, Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so Georgia's RICO Act. Listen to me carefully. Let's stop being stupid listening to Tariq Nasheed and other blackologists. Every state has the right to adapt and act and modify it. Okay? So when Georgia took on a RICO Act, they made modifications. They took out what they didn't like and they added what they liked. So it's known as the Georgia's RICO Act. Abortion, same way. Abortion, the state can give exceptions if the mother is going to die, a rape happened, you know what I mean? They can do that. Some states say, nah, no abortion, regardless of what. You dig? Probably Utah, because Utah is heavily religious. I don't know the Mormons. Well, the Mormon was becoming more modernized. So I respect them because they became like their religion who be trying to adapt with modern times. Their religion, nevertheless, but they try to adapt with modern times. So a lot of their beliefs, they was adjusting. Like the whole polygamy thing, they started to adjust that. And that's more than we could say from other religions. And this is why, if it comes to Christianity, I like the non-denominational church above all, because they are, if you want to work on a church member or a church pastor, if you want any chance of convincing or influencing, your best chance, I believe, is with a non-denominational church. Okay, and you'll find your best argument with those people, and you'll find like the best interpretation of the Bible with those people. They're a little different. They're open. They're non-denominational. That means they take from this, they take from that, they take from this, they take from that, and they leave from this, leave from that, leave from that, leave from this. The non-denominational doctrine is subject to change. Okay, they don't have a sound doctrine. They also adapt with time. A lot of them don't call themselves Christians. They understand Christian was a slang. Not a slang. It was a goddamn. It was a epithet. Okay, so they understand that. So they understand like there's no Christian. There are no Christians. They're just God's people and whatever the Bible calls those people, believers, whatever. The sheep, the flock. So that's why. Just the side note. I kind of respect the religions who don't mind modifying and trying to coincide with the time. They're not stuck in the goddamn Stone Age. Anyway, Georgia's RICO Act. The recording artist Young Thug, whose legal name is Jeffrey Williams, faces a slew of accusations from Fulton County District Attorney, including that he was allegedly a founder and active leader of the violent Young Slime Life street gang. So now we know what YSL means. Young Slime Life street gang. And slime, y'all want to know what slime means? I'll Google that a little later for you guys. You know, I'm not making stuff up. The slime goes over your head. And all of them, that's a member had at some point either had a track or a video cover album with green stuff all like green slime all over it. You dig? RICO, according to Georgia RICO Act, this is how they define RICO. It is a crime for any person through a pattern of racketeering activity to acquire or maintain any interest in or control of any type of property or business under the Georgia RICO law. And they're saying YSL fits in that business, fits in the business category. Okay? So bear with me while I go to the next slide. Slide 14. Again, like this was, you know what I mean? Before I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of editing. This is all, this is not, look at it, this ain't no damn PowerPoint, right? So the law at the federal and the state and at the state level is often used to target organized crime. In the US, the Federal RICO Act was, blacks cannot go to heaven, the more in the US, well, if they said that, I would respect that change, because you know evolution is about improvement, right? So they're improving. That's called reformation, right? They are going through reformation, and also the non-denominational church is going through reformation. That's why I don't people like I did before, like rah 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 rah. You doing this? I leave people alone, especially when they're growing. I leave them alone. So in the U.S., the Federal RICO Act was originally used to indict mob activity. States like Georgia, they singled out Georgia. States like Georgia have adopted their own version of the law as well. So stop comparing Georgia's RICO Act to the RICO Act of Chicago or New York. Stop doing it, Tariq Nasheed. Start reading. They got their own stipulations. The law itself only requires, now listen what they're saying about Georgia, not New Jersey, not Minneapolis, not Texas, not Arizona, not the UK. Georgia, the law itself only requires, only means they honing in on something different than the federal RICO, right? This is state law. For this channel, I tell you, federal and state law are different. They don't have to be the same, but state law cannot contradict or violate federal law. But it could do something that federal law hasn't done. Okay? So their version of their RICO Act, because don't forget, the RICO Act, the RICO Act is a federal law. It's not state. So state adopted it and made their twist on it. Georgia, in this case. Georgia only requires the state to prove that some group of people is committing a pattern of other crimes under the RICO law. You see, it's not so broad like the RICO we just read. They only want you to do this. That can include simple stuff like theft or murder or drugs or prostitution. 3 of the 4, I know they're pinning on YSL. As long as you can show a pattern of 2 or more crimes, what happened? What happened? As long as you can show a pattern of 2 or more crimes committed by this group of people that are organized together, YSL, they're organized together. They're called YSL, Young Slime Life. They're called a name. And it's members, active members by name. Okay? So as long as you can show a pattern of 2 or more crimes committed by this group of people, YSL, that are organized together, you have a potential RICO case. So stop acting like Georgia law has to be the same as the origins of the RICO federal law. No, Georgia has a different opinion on how this thing should work. Okay.
All right, so that's it on that. All right, so let's get into what we're going to get into. Moors in court. Let's find this slide. All right. So it's important for me to show this. All right, it's very important for me to show this. Hey, peace, Mr. Morpheus, Gary Hart. So that was the RICO explanation. So I gave you the origins, I gave you the history, and the RICO Act is a federal law, and states can add their own laws. They can modify federal law to their liking, because federal law means the feds got to be involved, and it takes a lot for the feds to be involved. So if a state want to be a little strict, they can say, all right, we're adopting those same things here. And one of those things is the marijuana dilemma. Federal law says it's still illegal, and in my opinion, they'll never legalize marijuana. The states said, well, if you come here, we won't bother you. But if the feds bother you, you're in trouble. But luckily for people who have marijuana businesses or even indulge recreationally, or, definitely recreationally, the state officials and legislators, they worked out a deal with the feds. So you don't got to worry about them ever crashing on you. They're going to just let the state handle you if things go left, and the state's not going to bother you as long as you don't be part of some type of drug operation with your marijuana or into a shootout. Because if that's the case, then all bets are off. Feds come in and you'd be charged federally all your marijuana. So, just be careful. Make sure that you're not trying to sell it illegally. Make sure you're doing what Chief X is doing and making a brand out of it. Okay. So now I'm sharing my screen. I think, yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Let me update my screen because I didn't see I'm sharing it. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. All right. So you see the title. It says Panthers, right? 1995. This is the soundtrack with Biggie Smalls and all those people. They had like a little hot track with everybody featured on it. Okay, so Panthers. I have to remind you of what the Panthers were doing. Okay, because there's new Panther groups and shit like that, and they're doing something totally different. They're doing their own thing, which I call lazy work. They're not doing the real work. They're doing lazy shit. Why not just, if you're going to call yourself a Panther of any sort, and you're honoring the Black Panther Party of that time, right? You need to follow up what they were doing, right? You need to add on. So I'm going to show you this video to let you know what Black Panther activism looks like, okay? And you can compare and contrast with these other people and see if they're doing something similar. And I'm going to tell you they're not. But don't just put it on Panthers. I'm going to say that this is a community obligation. So the Panthers really represented every resident of a community, every neighbor of a neighborhood. So this is everybody's obligation, not just a group. By this time, right? We're in 2022. We all should be a Panther of some sort. We all should be a member of the Deacon Defense, mentally. We all should be Dr. King and Malcolm X, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mentally, all of us. Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, all these people that we like to cheer behind and salute and praise and, exalt. They're gone. You're here. And you're supposed to be in the spirit or mindset of them. What's your excuse? Anyway, as you see the Black Panther screen, I'm gonna press play, and you tell me what you observe. So hold on. So now, watch this. Hold on.
Oh, man. What are you doing out here driving around, looking at the young girl like that, huh? I'm just doing my...
So I must narrate. That's a police officer, you know, policing the Black neighborhood, really oppressing / policing the Black neighborhood. And he's looking at the same woman that the local street guys are looking at. So no Black Panthers are in sight at this point. Just a piece of trash pig cop, a pig. I'm just going to say pig. Okay, it's just a pig and street guys. Look what happens.
Now, you know you're supposed to be directing traffic, huh? All right, I know, but give me the glove. Look at here, look at here, look at here. How you doing, Casper? What's up now? Go away. You lost or something? We hurt you.
As you can see, that these are regular street guys up to no good. And even they felt obligated to police the police. They're not Black Panthers. They probably couldn't qualify for membership, but they felt it was their neighborly duty to police the police, especially when you suspect the police to be on his pigness, right? He's pigging out. So you got local street guys who decided, hey, you know what, let's police these police. Hold on.
Oh, man. Oh, you police. He the buzz, man. Oh, you couldn't just be a plain old white man. Nah. Take us with you. Go. Come back. Take us. Come on, man. Sit here.
All right. So I'm saying if this movie depicting, it is a movie, I get it. But if local street guys who are not welcome in the Black community can police the police, what is your excuse? Like, what's the point of calling yourself conscious when you have no activism in you at all? Zero activism in you. Okay? Now, so that was local street guys, all right? So let's go and see. So now local street guys are policing the police. Let's go to see how the Black Panthers, you know, what would they do if a police is in a neighborhood, right? Up to no good or suspected to be up to no good. How are they going to handle that? All right, so let's just take a look at it, right? Here we are. Oh, first, I want you to hear it yourself. Check this out. Listen to the audio carefully. Listen to every last word you're about to hear.
That's what we call a Panther Patrol. We see a brother getting busted, we check it out and make sure the pigs don't go beating on him. He's taking...
You heard what he said? They respond to a police infraction. They check it out and make sure a pig is not beating on their people. That's Black activism. You're hearing it from the movie. What their position was, okay? Is that the position as these people you see today, or even you? Check this out.
Taking downtown, we try to hook him up with a lawyer, bail.
So what? It's like...
You hear that? We hook them up with a lawyer and bail. This is what Panthers do, at least according to the movie, all right? All right, so now let's skip a little bit. Okay, now here we are. Check this out. All right, so you're witnessing Black Panthers of old approaching a suspected police approaching a suspected illegitimate police infraction, and they see a brother getting beat up excessively, and they put a stop to it. Check it out.
Hey, y'all, come out here! It's the police! It's the brothers with guns! Get some backup! Get the hell out of here! Get out of here!
So this just is a glimpse of what your Panthers did of old. I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing today, and keep in mind, I'm not just putting it on people who call themselves Panthers. I'm putting it on anybody who are supposed to be conscious. In my mind, you're a Panther. If you say you're conscious, in my mind, you're a Black Panther by default. And the fact that you let police officers come into your areas, right, your neighborhoods, and pull people over, and you just keep driving, keep walking by, and you just expect everything to go correct. But at the same time, you would say these cops are pigs. So how can you expect it to go correct? They're pigs, right? If they're pigs, that means things are not going correct. That means they're violating their racial profiling. They are soon to be racial or police brutalizing somebody. But we're cowards today. Like, can you just admit it? We're cowards today. Everybody. Because this type of interaction is not happening. At least not enough, right? But we claim to be conscious. All right, so there, I'm going to stop it there, and I'm going to show you that there are some people doing this type of activism, right? I showed it last night. I'll show a little bit today. Okay, I should never clicked off that, so hold on one second. All right, so I'm just going to pull it back up and show you this type of activism is actually, around, and it's effective. It's very effective, and media tries to portray it as something else. But you guys should know better than that. You know, media is not your best friend. Okay, so here we are. Yeah. Once this commercial goes away, I will show you this type of activism still exists. But guess what? They're not Black Panthers. Okay, so you can see my screen now. That's a police officer. They pull some Black people over, okay? And a non-Black person decided to do some Black Panther activities, policing the police. Check it out. Matter of fact, let me go a little further. Okay, let me just give a shout out to his channel. And you can see it, how he approached the scene.
All right, guys, so some activity over here, some police activity. I was out.
Isn't that what you heard from the Black Panther movie? They said, we police the police. Who does that now? It's a bunch of cowards. So I don't respect anybody who claims to be an activist or, oh man, these complainers. I don't respect none of y'all. All right, here we go.
At Walmart grabbing some stuff here in Louisville, Kentucky. We got 1, 2, 3 police cars. Let's see what this is all about.
Now, this is what you can do, by the way. If you stop being a coward, you can you see a bunch of Black folks pulled over. You can grab your phone, approach them according to some laws. Just can't go closer than 10 feet, okay? And you can have your camera, because when they see the camera, whatever BS they on, they usually fall back. Like you've seen in the movie, they didn't have a camera, they had guns, but you don't got to go that way. They didn't have cameras at that time, so the Black Panthers had guns, but you don't have to have guns. You can have your camera, and that's going to be enough to scare them off. But camera's like a gun today, in some instances, okay?
Can I help you, sir?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Hey,
Thank
Mitch,
you.
please.
Appreciate that.
Okay, hey, Mitch, before I press play, what's not true? Let me know. Can you please express what's not true before I finish the video? Let me hear this. Sometimes, I got to look at the chat to interact. You dig? I got to look at the chat to interact with facts. No cap. Okay, so I'm going to play the video. I'll look out for your comment.
What are you doing? Stand back over there if you want to record this
What
situation.
are you doing?
No, I mean, stand back over there. You're not going to and put yourself in a situation. We just got to calm down.
I'm not putting myself in any situation.
Stand over there.
Sir, I'm gonna
So police officers will try to intimidate you, like you see in a movie. You did get out of here. You know, they'll do all that. It doesn't just because they do all that does not make it legal. Okay, does not make it legal. It doesn't mean you're committing a crime. It doesn't mean you're arrestable. You dig? You can actually approach the scene and just listen how clever this journalist or this Black Panther is. He's not a real Black Panther member, but like I said, anybody who dares to police the police, especially for the benefit of Black people, in my mind, is a Black Panther. So look, this is what Black Panthers would have done.
Ask you relax. I'm going to back up.
Hey, I understand.
That's it.
But stand over there. We just got this situation. You're standing in the middle of the parking lot right now.
Yeah, nah, hey, Mitch, that was just that's just my opinion, right? Sometimes I might define a word different than its current definition, right? I would add my own definition, and I would just make that disclaimer. I'll say, listen, men and women, this is how I'm defining this word, right? And then, so when I use it, nobody's confused. Nobody's holding me to the actual definition. You just hold me to the way I'm defining it for a particular live. So that's why I said just for me only, not for anybody else. I'm speaking for myself solely. For me, anybody who dares to police the police on the behalf of Black folks are Black Panthers in my mind only. Not your mind, anybody else's mind. Just my mind. That's all. That's my standard.
You got to calm down.
Okay, so he's doing what most people won't do, right? All American citizens pretty much won't do this type of policing, okay? So I'm going to leave from that and show you something else because I don't want to play whole videos, no need. I just want to show you that this type of activism is going on. It's just not a lot of Black people. Okay, another commercial.
Any questions or perform any tests?
Turn that light the other way or stand to a different side.
What are you, a clown? You want to put a leash on your goon?
All right.
Come find me down the street with a deadly weapon? You're lucky I didn't unload a clip in your... You'd have done that to me.
Okay, so this is white people policing white people. You see? So police officers, they truly have this blue color where it's all about us, first and foremost, and everybody else second, third, fourth, fifth, last. Okay? So you have white people policing the police in their neighborhoods, right? So they would be what? Because now listen to what a Panther is, okay? For one, you don't have to say Black Panther. The fact you said the word Panther is already assumed as Black. Why? Because a leopard that's all it is. It's a leopard. When a leopard coat appears to be all black, we call it a panther, right? But it's still a leopard, right? So a panther is just a panther. If you define a panther, it's nothing but a leopard. Matter of fact, you can't even go find leopards like that on YouTube because I'm sorry. You can't find panthers on YouTube because they're not. This is just an added name, like a nickname. It's just a leopard. That's all it is. Like an albino lion. An albino lion is still a lion. A Burmese python is still a python, right? They're just acknowledging its odd or unique description, which would be a white color. Okay, so that's all. So when you say panther, that's just automatically black. There's no other panther than black. It's just a leopard, all right? So the real terminology would just be panther. To add black, that's an extra emphasis for whatever reason. Yeah. So these white people who police the police will be leopards, right? Because they're not the dark-coated, quote-unquote, black leopard. They would be just a regular leopard. It'd just be regular leopards, right? So we got leopards in white society who police the police, hold them accountable and responsible for all their actions. And these police officers, like the one you're seeing right here, was disciplined. And the white guy talking, I believe, was able to sue. And you see the title, they was able to create a new case law for actions that happened during this policing. All right. So let me pause this one, go to the next one.
What do you want?
Another commercial.
A job that I don't.
All right. So let me go ahead and share. And let me back up this thing if I can, if it lets me.
Sorry, don't.
You have no ID with you?
All right, so police officers are obsessed with asking for your ID. And the only time they can really lawfully ask for your ID, assuming you have not committed a crime, the only time they're required to receive your ID if you actually are driving and they lied and say you committed a traffic violation. That's the only time they can actually get your ID legally if you did not commit a crime. So listen to my words carefully, all of them. Don't pick and choose or cherry pick. This person is not driving, I don't believe.
Sorry, don't.
You have no ID with you?
Yeah, this person is not driving, so he's not required. If he didn't commit a crime, he's not obligated to get his officer anything.
No, I'm not in my truck.
I can seize your phone right now.
It's a
That's
live
evidence.
stream. It's a live stream, so there's no evidence on the phone.
Right in.
So again, these are the intimidation tactics from police officers. You're seeing it in 2022, and guess what? You've seen it during the Black Panther days, so it doesn't go anywhere. It's something about the training. It's something about, or the lack of training. It's something about the badge and everything about policing, where majority of the officers feel like they could just violate, American citizens' rights, constitutional rights. So again, it's in the training. So they definitely need some type of training to respect citizens.
Nope. It's protected
Listen, do
Supreme
you
Court
understand
law.
what I just said to you?
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. This is
All right, so
Matthew
here's a
Rankin,
brief
owner of the
narration.
HBO Matt YouTube channel. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check him out and let him know that I sent you. Just after midnight on January 16th, 2019, Matt was recording at a traffic stop from about 200 feet away.
He was recording at a traffic stop at about 200 feet away. This is called policing the police. You heard it in the movie Panther. You see, Panther. It's not Black Panther. All Panthers are black. So you heard it in the movie. We are policing the police. That's what Panthers do. Hey, Mitch. That's why I said they're all Panthers in my mind, because a Panther polices the police. Okay.
Away. After recording the incident for almost 17 minutes, Officer Wayne Casey of the Peverly Police Department got into his patrol vehicle and drove over to Matt and made contact.
So now this guy, according to most laws, enough state laws, let me reiterate that, but correct it. According to most state laws, or at least half, or somewhere like that, you need to just be within 10 feet of a police infraction. And that's not considered too close. If you're 10 feet or longer, this guy is 200 feet away. So he's definitely not a problem, okay? The police officer arrives all the way, matter of fact, 200 feet away, not really going to show much. All right, unless they just all out Rodney King beat him. But the police officer decides to drive near him anyway. So this police officer, again, feels like he's above the law and he has the right to violate citizens' rights. Okay, so anyway, the person who's using the camera was able to sue for $75,000. This is real activism, right? You're policing the police. You're holding them responsible and accountable, all right? So that's all I had on that. I'm going to just remind you of what Panthers and what community activists should be doing, and not just activists, just the people in the community. It's your obligation to police the police, especially if you believe they're all pigs and they're all races and racial profile. You are the main ones should be out there policing them. It's legal. It's your constitutional protected right to record them. That's the First Amendment. Okay. So now I'm gonna leave this and go to our show. Okay. So, but first, before we go into the show, remember I said earlier that Moors, right? I see white Moors and black Moors. And again, it's my definition. I'm calling everybody in the sovereignty citizen movement a Moor. So now you get it. So I said there's white sovereign citizens and there's black sovereign citizens. And because the Moors hijacked the sovereign citizen movement, and put it in their, religion. Some of them, you're just a Moor, but you're also a sovereign citizen. So as long as you're behaving like a sovereign citizen, that's what you are. But they kind of like made sovereign citizenship and Moor interchangeable, intertwined. That's why I said, hey, man, if that's the case, then these white folks who are sovereign citizens, they're Moors too. The only Moors I know to speak against this is Taharqa Bey and his group, or anybody affiliated with him, or anybody he stamps. Like, they appear to be, not appear, like they have spoken against this type of sovereign citizen adoption to the doctrine. Like, they speak against it and they condemn those who use this garbage. All right, so anyway, let's get into what is a sovereign citizen and how did the movement even start? Like, who had the idea? Was it black folks or white people? Take a guess. It's a small commercial. I gotta make sure this ends. Okay, so we are here and we are here. So, all right. Listen to the words carefully, okay?
So here's the problem. If citizens could choose to follow certain laws but ignore the others, society would break down, okay? The only reason society works is because there are rules. We all agreed upon those rules. We all follow the rules. And that is why they're always going to lose in court when they try to invoke their sovereignty status. I do not abide by, well, you're on U.S. soil. Too bad, so sad, okay? Even if they have strength in numbers, it still won't do them any good, because now they become, as you've seen over the years, over the last 10 years, they become an even greater danger, and they're looked at with a lot more scrutiny, not just by the government, by the people themselves. So it's almost like a lose-lose-lose situation. No matter how they try to approach it, they are always going to lose, but they keep on trying.
So the sovereign citizens, anybody who borrows their bullshit, you heard Polite mention it, you heard Ali Muhammad mention this garbage, they're going to lose. But they keep trying. That's was the words, okay? Let's keep going. So this person who's talking, he's an actual lawyer, and his viewership had, they, like anybody, like Sonnet or anybody else, they would ask them to speak on a topic, and if a lot of people, like, they got like a democratic following. So if the majority of people, even Turk Nasheed, if their audience want them to speak on something, then they will, and that's what he's doing.
Supremacy Clause of Article 6 of the Constitution covers all citizens on U.S. land. They will have to renounce their citizenship, and the only way to do that is to remove themselves from U.S. soil. You cannot, it's oxymoronic and contradictory to remain physically present in a country where you renounce the citizenship thereof. It's impossible, okay? You have to physically be either in water, like they always invoke admiralty law. That a lot of it relates to international waters. So you go in the water and stay in the water, and then you're no longer in U.S. soil because water.
So in other words, become a real Moor, right? Get into that boat and be pirates of the sea, right? Where you're not on anybody's land, you're in the water, which is free space, right? Now you are totally sovereign.
Usually, again, I don't do this kind of stuff, but I know there are certain parts of the ocean and waters that do not belong to countries. Okay, they're free basically. So if they go in the water and stay on the water, like live on a houseboat, you can be a sovereign citizen on a houseboat or an island that, I don't know if we still have it.
And after this, it's going to get hot and juicy with the videos of the Moors. I'm going to play two from last night because I was kind of like dozing off, so I really ain't give y'all the best commentary. It's kind of sleepy, so I figured, you know what, let me start going earlier where I ain't got to have the problem. I was tired. I was lacking sleep from the lives and going to the gym, just not sleeping well. So, and I don't sleep when I get home because I'm still doing stuff, and then I work, and then I'm live again and getting sleepy at nighttime. So I'm gonna get better commentary, and then I got a hella host of videos that you guys gonna definitely be laughing hard. Okay, so listen. Whatever you need to do, go do it right now. You're gonna be laughing very hard at the videos you see. These are serious videos of more sovereign citizens and just domestic terrorist white sovereign citizens in their cars challenging police officers and getting the shit beat out of them. All right? So here we go. So one guy won't get out of his car, so a police K9 had to help him get out. Oh my God, this is hilarious.
Any unoccupied islands somewhere. But you cannot physically be, as soon as you, let's say you leave the United States and go to Mexico. Well, if you try to be a sovereign citizen in Mexico, the problem is they have their own laws, okay? So you're gonna have to abide by them. So again, impossible. If they renounce their citizenship while they remain on US soil, they become a living, breathing contradiction, okay? I'm not a US citizen, but I want to stay here, which is impossible to do, and their claim falls apart on the spot. You know, pick one. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So I want to follow these laws, but I don't want to follow these laws. Cherry picking does not work. That's how society works, okay? We'll get to the philosophical aspect of it in a moment.
So according to this lawyer, the terms, or the word sovereign citizen is a contradiction. It contradicts itself, you know. You can't be a citizen and be sovereign in a place that you don't have citizenship to. I think we all can get that, right? If you're an American citizen, you know that you're pretty much good in this country. If you're not an American citizen, you know better than anybody. So nobody can tell somebody who don't have citizenship in this country about citizenship. You know that you're not a citizen, and they can really just send you back to where you came from. You dig? So there's visas and there's other things that you know that I don't know because I was born here, so I don't know about that. But I learned about that from people that I'm close with. And just for the record, I don't need to say this. It doesn't mean good or bad, but I'm just saying, like, most of the people I deal with is black, right, to some degree, whether Haitian, African, Jamaican. Like, most of the people I interact daily, I'm gonna say 99% of them are black. Okay, there's a 1% Hispanic, and as it stands right now, 0% white people, white friends, or anybody associated with, other than basketball, bowling, of course, those activities are associated with white people. But I'm saying outside of like play, on a serious, like, personal note, not saying I won't associate with anybody or have any affiliations, but just current date, the last couple years, 10 years, most of the people I interact with, or damn it, all of them, 99% black. All right. That's just, you know, for your information, in case you thought I was cooning and listen, that's not the case here. Just a realist. Just unbiased, you know. Anyway, let's go. So my point is, people who don't have citizenship here, they know that they could be sent back, right? So you can't be sovereign here without and not have citizenship. Or have citizenship. I'm sorry, you can't be sovereign here and have citizenship. It's one or the other, right? And if you don't have citizenship, you got to go. Like he's saying, it's funny, but it's facts. There you go.
So the sovereign citizen is a contradiction in terms. They wish to be a citizen, but they want to be their own sovereign. So how do you square that away? The term in itself by
Hey, yo, New Black World Order. Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm saying, a lot of things that said that we just take it as just a statement, you know, in recorded history. But now you see there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Let's drive them back where they came from. At least the people talking, like, that's how they know where they came from. They see them come from the sea. So let's drive them back to where we see them come from, which is the sea. We don't know where they come from, but we've seen them come from the sea. So let's put them back where they came from. Get them out of here. Why? Check it out, New Black World Order. Get them out of here because they're not a citizen here. They're not welcome here. They're not a native. They got to go. Okay? So you're right. So they didn't have citizenship, so let's get them out this country. They're not going to be sovereign here.
It's their own definition is a fallacy. It cannot exist in reality, and it's impossible to enforce. So that is why they're always going to fail.
So now he's going to give a solution to people who claim sovereignty in America. Now we know you can't be sovereign and a citizen. Both can't exist in this country. You got to be one or the other. Okay. Now he's going to give a solution, which is alternatives, not really a solution, but he's going to give two alternatives for sovereign citizens, how they can deal with this dilemma, as opposed to letting cops beat the shit out of you on the roadside, and court and judges just embarrass you in the courtroom, which you're going to see, and just lock your dumb ass back up. Okay, and it's going to be hard to be employed. Okay, so here we are. Here's an alternative, a realistic alternative. If you're going to be a sovereign citizen, here's a realistic alternative, something you can do that can satisfy this country and this government and the states.
Now, I've looked into the history of what is the origin. You always want to know, where did it come from? Who originated it?
Good question, because that's my question to all black talking points and all black stances. Who originated? Where did it come from? Because y'all know how I do. I don't pull any punches. I say black power is really white power. Y'all heard me say this many times. I even got a video named Black Power is Really White Power. So now he just said he wants to know where this come from, where did it originate? Where did it originate? Okay, now hold on to your seats. Like Dr. Khaled Muhammad say, put on your seatbelt, stand under your seat. Listen to where it came from. All right. Is unbiased right? Black power is really white power, just blackwash, or is black power independent of white power? Let's see.
And again, they're getting the short end of the stick. And a lot of people actually don't know, the ones that try to claim to be sovereign citizens, because the concept has evolved over time. I'm not saying they're all like this by any means, okay? But the origin, in the 1960s, there was a Christian white supremacist group, okay? This is where it came from. The Posse Comitatus.
Exactly. Peace 504, exactly. New World Order, you're on it. You're definitely on it. Politically, according to the doctrine. You're on it, bro.
Tatis group. Okay, this is where it came from. The Posse Comitatus. Okay, that's what they called themselves. I don't know what their goals were. Obviously, sounds anarchistic, sounds anti-government, and whatever. That's fine. You know, do that behind closed doors as long as you're not inciting violence. Nobody really cares, and the government's not going to touch you. Actually, I did some research.
Black Haze, peace. And listen, so after this, he's laying the foundation, the format of what I want you to. So when you see the videos, right, afterwards of Moorish people being pulled over by the police officers without a license, without a car plates and insurance. So he's laying the foundation. So when he gets done, and you watch these videos, there's going to be a clear understanding for you. Not like yesterday. It was like pretty much just humorous, we're laughing, whatever. But now that he's explaining what a sovereign citizen is and what they can't do and what they can do in this country, so now when these Moors get pulled over and when they start their bullshit, just keep in mind of his words that he said that just don't make sense, okay? Because a lot of them going to claim a sovereign citizen, that they could be sovereign in this country and be a citizen, but don't have to abide by citizen laws, which is the Constitution, which is state laws, basically. All right, so here we go. Or even federal law.
It's kind of like the definition. What is a posse comitatus in Latin? What is the definition? In common law, it's people. It's a group of people who were mobilized by the conservator of peace. Kind of like I looked at it. This is my definition. Kind of like an appointed vigilante, or a group of vigilantes. So it had the force of government behind it, okay? So it's kind of, again, the Latin term that they decided to use for it does not comport with the sovereign citizens in the 60s with what the term originally meant. So posses were historically been assigned during emergency times or war times when the times necessitated it, when there was an absolute need for somebody to take action for a certain need. So for instance, in 1922, there was an American posse that was assigned, I don't remember, I think it was Texas. It was somewhere in the Southwest. An American posse, the Posse Comitatus, was appointed by the governor, the mayor, who knows.
So they were appointed, this posse, they were appointed by the mayor or governor or some official. Okay, appointed them. So keep in mind what he's saying. Don't let anything escape what you're hearing. Okay, so this sovereign movement or sovereign group of people, right? they were appointed. So they was actually acknowledged and given the thumbs up by some official, right, with power. And they were, so when he says, so in other words, they were empowered by the powers to be at the time. And you're going to see why. Check this out.
And they captured Manuel Martinez and Placidio Silvas. Martinez.
In other words, they were bounty hunters. You dig? Okay, they were bounty hunters. Bounty hunters, you could say, are appointed or not appointed, but given power by the state. Because the state could say bounty's illegal in the state, and you're done. Your career's over. Your business is trash. So the state nods their head at bounty hunters because they're allowed to do things that police officers can't do. Bounty hunters, listen to about bounty hunters. Please listen to me. Yeah, Bias Sports does a lot of research. Like, I ain't gonna toot my horn, but the average person can't sit on the stage and sit here with me and talk about different and various subjects. Like, I just watch a lot of stuff. So bounty hunters, okay, they're appointed by the court. That means they don't need a warrant. They are the warrant. Okay, listen to what I'm saying to you. Bounty hunters are the warrant. The police officers aren't. When they come to your house, they knock on the door unless you invite them in, unless they see a crime happening in your house. They cannot invite themselves in. Right? They have to go get a warrant. Bounty hunters are the warrant. They don't need paperwork. They are the human form of a paper warrant. That's the best I can explain. Remember that. Bounty hunters are the human form of a paper warrant. Okay? When they pull up, they could just knock your door and come right in. No warning like that. Police officers need a no-knock, all that type of shit. Not bounty hunters, you dig? I'm trying not to use profanity. I'm getting excited. So, these people that were appointed in 1960, this posse, whatever it was called, was like modern-day bounty hunters, okay? Let's keep it moving.
Martinez and Silvas were arrested for the Ruby murders after the largest manhunt in the history of the Southwest. So, again, they had the force of law. Even though they were not law enforcement officers, they were not trained to be law enforcement, maybe they were not trained by the government in weaponry, they had no formal governmental force behind them before, but the government initiated a proceeding, appointed them as posse comitatus, and boom, they had the force of law behind them. Okay, the government was backing them up. So when they captured Martinez and Silvas, their capture, even though they were not law enforcement, was lawful, and none of them were prosecuted. Okay, so again, the posse comitatus is a misnomer for a sovereign citizen cannot name themselves as such in today or 60 years ago in today's day, is because they don't have the force of law. The government did not appoint them as a sovereign citizen. So again, it's just Latin with contradictions. You can see more and more. It's impossible to square it away.
So, translation for those who are laymen, laywomen, that didn't get it the first time. You are only a sovereign citizen if this mighty government said approve and give you the nod. If this mighty government does not give you the approval or the nod that you're a sovereign citizen, then guess what? You're not. Okay, so let's not be goofy. Let's talk about real talk here. It's the mighty government, okay, that don't take SHIT for any country, especially any threats of war. You know, they're the bullies of the block. They police the world. We've been saying this. We agreed to this. Let's not get goofy today. Okay, so this mighty government has an ego issue. And if they don't approve it, they don't recognize it, right? We say source up in our community. The government say arm up. You know what I mean? Get your military together. For them to respect you, for this government to respect you, you better be able to impose a threat, a serious threat to the infrastructure of this country. Okay, we can all agree on that. If you cannot impose a serious threat to the infrastructure of this country or undermine its intelligence, you have no respect for this country. They're gonna roll right over your ass, like they've been doing since the inception of America, and in the making of America. You dig? All right. So don't forget how brutal this country can be. They might be civil today and act like, you know, they professional, but they get dirty, and they don't mind getting dirty. And these weak sovereign citizens, you're not going to tell them what you are. They're going to either acknowledge it or tell you you're not that, and they're going to cause you a lot of pain, which you're going to see in these videos. All right.
other than leaving the country. If you leave the country, you can become a sovereign citizen. Within the country, impossibility so far. Let's see if we can change that. The problem is the sovereign citizen are associating themselves with a group coined by white supremacy, What
happened? What happened? White who? So the origin of this movement was done by not just white people, and most of us smart people are not amazed, shocked, nothing. Okay, black people follow the craziest, most stupid, extreme white people. They don't follow the smart Albert Einsteins and people like that. Elon Musk, Warren Buffett. They go after the most stupid, unrespected white people in the country. The people that respectable white people or white people in position of power laugh at. Okay, some of us black folks, we follow the white people in society that the white people in powerful positions laugh at, don't respect at all. So run that back, Turbo.
White supremacy associating themselves with a group coined by white supremacy group, many of whom were associated with terrorism and terroristic acts.
Are you guys surprised that the sovereign citizen movement was a bunch of white supremacists? Are you guys surprised? Are you really surprised? This is why I give respect to Tarek Bey. He ain't with that foolishness. He ain't with that white supremacy, that black power, paint over white power. He ain't with that. You dig? Now he got some flaws and errors, but that ain't one of them. You dig? That's why I rock with him. I listen to him. Well, I enjoy his expose on the fake black revolutionaries. Let me just say that. I also enjoy his exposés on the fake doctors, you dig, and scammers. Those be good too.
Acts. There it is again. Why would you want to be a part of this group? So the origin becomes even now is clear and the intent is even scarier. The most famous, of course, you may remember, some of you may have done this research. 2010 was the most violent act. 2 sovereign citizens killed 2 police officers, a father and son. It seems to be not the rule. It's more of an exception to the rule.
So this sovereign citizen movement, this group of white supremacists are known to be violent against the government, all forms of government, right? But definitely federal. Federal is always the target to white supremacists. I'm sorry, federal is always the target for white supremacists, okay? So to join their movement, to take their doctrine, you're basically picking a side, and that's a losing side. That's why they can't ever win.
But violence seems to be the end means when the courts fail to realize their claims, etc.
So, and as you can see, the sovereign citizen that bit the cop thumb off. So what he said was very important. He says that when the courts don't acknowledge their sovereignty, and they never will, once that sovereign citizen realized that, he just said, not his opinion, according to the stats, right, the data, that these sovereign citizens become violent afterwards. And I don't have those videos. I didn't want to watch those videos, but it's true. A lot of these people end up dying or being harmed in the most vicious way because they just didn't respect the courts anymore. They didn't want to get locked up. They knew that their jargon is not going to be respected, not going to be heard. You dig? And you're going to see cases, all right?
So what is the solution? Okay. How do we square away this this sovereign?
Okay, so we're going into where we at? Okay, so now we're going into. So he went to origins. This is the alternative. I said it before, but it wasn't that. It was the origins. So white supremacist groups were the originators of the sovereign citizen movement, and now we're going into some alternatives that they're left with. They're left with 2 alternatives: sovereign citizens, and here's one.
Citizen status desire that a person may have. Move out, create their own, go to their own country, create their own country. If there's any land anywhere, I remember seeing an article, some father bought a piece of land somewhere in South Africa, or I'm sorry, in Africa, and it was just a tiny little piece, and he appointed himself as king so his daughter could be an actual legitimate princess, which is pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. I don't know.
I respect that. I love action. Unbiased Sports, love Swazi Media, love action. I love when people back up their talk and they walk it. So he said somebody bought a piece of land in Africa and appointed himself king, right? He's sovereign now. He's sovereign. I respect that. I got nothing ill to say to that person. Just respect and hope that person all the best, literally. Hope whatever their mind can achieve, can perceive, I hope they achieve it. I love people who act on their rhetoric. Okay? I respect that. And he names my princess Quest all. That's again, highly respect somebody like that. Hate you cowards. What the Bible says with a perfect hatred. I hate you cowards with a perfect hatred. You know, on this social media, just talk. A coward. I was going to use some other terminology, but I got flagged for hate speech. But I hate you cowards. Just talk. Don't ever do anything. Just cowards. You're mad at me because I'm a real individual with a real reputation of respect, right? So they might not like my overall, conclusion. They might even like my my ways of life. But as a human being, they rock with me. DJ Focus don't like none of my beliefs, none of the ways I see life. But if he had a cookout or a birthday party, he's going to invite me. All right, because I'm just a good person. I'm different than you cowards. You cowards are not liked by anybody. You're always alone. Okay?
Anywhere where there's still a possibility to do that. But if you can find a piece of unoccupied land and live on it, fine. You will be able to be a sovereign citizen on that piece of land. Or an island, like I said, where people just sit around on the beach all day. But, and here we come to the critical problem. Okay. Even if the sovereign citizens were to collectively gather and they would go to an island or a piece of land, let's say we found an island, said, go have at it. This is all yours. Okay.
Okay. So he's saying, look, the sovereign citizens, the black and white ones, they found a piece of land somewhere in the ocean, right? There's an island that nobody cares to occupy. And they said, oh, you got it. It's up for grabs. You can live there. You can survive off the fish and the livestock. Go ahead and do you, boo. As a phrase, do you, boo? Okay. That place will look like Chicago. Watch this. Or it'll look like, thanks to 2P that looked up Germania, it'll look like Europe during the 1550s. 2P is gonna like that reference. That's how a sovereign citizen movement is gonna look like when you find a piece of land with each other and you live amongst each other. It's gonna look like Europe in the 1550s, and it's gonna look like Chicago in 2022.
If there was truly a problem with sovereign citizens and only sovereign citizens, it would become the #1 most dangerous place to live on the planet. And I'm sure you all understand why. Because it would be complete chaos. It would be complete anarchy. It's a man eat man, woman eat woman, child eat child world. Lawlessness would reign free. It would be chaotic completely. Because the streets would be dirty, they would be dangerous, it would be deserted. Everybody would be afraid to come out of their house because they're going to be fearful for their lives, because lawlessness runs rampant. Murder is legal. It's like the movie The Purge, only it's 24/7 rather than one day a week. So it becomes impossible to have. So what would happen in a situation like the one I just described?
So what does he mean? Sovereignty. Sovereignty just means that nobody has power over you. Nobody can put laws on top of you that you are obligated to respect. So to one person, robbery is looked upon, like it shouldn't be. You shouldn't do it. It's unlawful. But to the other sovereign, robbery is a means of getting money. Like, nah, bro, that's your law. My law, shit, robbery, man, you get it how you live. You dig? Another law spending too much money on women is simping, right? That's his personal law. Another dude like, yo, man, ain't trickery if you ain't got it. Like, that's sovereignty. Like, that's what it means to be sovereignty. Nobody can tell you how to run your life, live your life, I should say, run your family, and how to interact with society. Only your rules matter to you. Okay? And you only want yes men around you, because everybody else, you know, this looking like the 1920s amongst white folks who used to shoot each other like for nothing. That's sovereignty. Sovereignty is exactly what he said. Sovereignty is there are no laws, and it's any and everything goes. That's what sovereignty really means. Any and everything goes. You got a bunch of different sovereigns amongst each other. Anything, everything goes. Okay, what's lawful to me ain't lawful to you.
We'll talk about another possible solution, by the way, but I want to get to that in a moment. I want to talk about the philosophical aspects of it. Civilized society. So there is another solution, okay? And this is where I think the sovereign citizen really comes from, is their displeasure with the way that the justice system has been not designed, but where has it evolved into? Because 70 years ago, we didn't have all the things that we have now. Incarceration rates are at an all-time high, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to get into all that. You know the drill. But so solution number 2 is to have a better checks and balances system, on the government. So have more lawyers, not just number lawyers, because I think we already have enough, but better lawyers.
Okay, now remember when I played a clip from the movie Panther, 1995. Remember, the Black Panthers gave a nod to and said that we are policing the police, okay? The Black Panthers said we are policing the police. 1995 movie. Watch what he says as a second alternative, other than leaving the country, living in the water, because wherever you go, you know, that was an interesting point. Listen to me, chat. Can these same clowns be a sovereign citizen in Mexico? Can these same clowns be a sovereign citizen in Canada? Can these same clowns be a sovereign citizen in China? Russia? Anywhere in Africa where there's a government? Can these clowns be a sovereign citizen in Iran or Cuba? These are clowns, okay? So remember, when I played from the clip of the Panther movie, 1995, he said, we are policing the police. Listen to the alternative. The second alternative is other than leaving the country and living on the water. Listen.
I mean, the problem is that we have a lot of lawyers who simply are willing to partner up with the machine.
You heard him? So he's calling out lawyers, by the way. He said, we have a lot of lawyers out here who wants to partnership with the machine, meaning it could be the court, most likely the court, the judge, the prosecution, right? The DA. A lot of lawyers just want to see favor with them and want to be cool, want to be in the in crowd. So they play ball. So he's admitting that defense attorneys are, included in the lawyers. When you say lawyers, it's everybody. So he's admitting that there's lawyers out there who just willing to play ball with the machine, right? With the people with the agenda. Okay? So he's admitting that. He's not one of these lawyers that's lying, acting like, everything's all fair. Nah. He's saying there's a bunch of terrible lawyers out there who's willing to be lazy and not stand up for themselves, but rather just partner with the machine.
And it's sad and frightening to see, but it does. But better lawyers. I mean, the problem is that we have a lot of lawyers who simply are willing to partner up with the machine. And it's sad and frightening to see, but it does happen sometimes. And if you have more lawyers advocating for the preservation of rights of people and actually fighting cases in court, fighting for their clients, doing jury trials, all that good stuff, which we are meant to do anyway,
So, yo, write that down in your head or a piece of paper. Jury trials, right? Jury trials. He said a lot of lawyers won't participate in jury trials. All right, he's calling them lazy pieces of shit. They won't do that for their clients. Jury trials. So if you ever got a lawyer, you want to bring up jury trials. Like, yo, what's up with my case? Is there a jury trial? Are you participating in that? You dig? Jury trials. He's saying that a lot of them don't want to participate in that for their clients. Okay? Jot that down. Research it. Google it. See how important it is to people cases and maybe even your own. All right?
Then I think the concept of the sovereign citizen may eventually fade away, disappear. Why? Because there'd be no need for it. Officers would be the most amazing people on the planet who would go out and simply perform their duties of maintaining the peace rather than extorting the citizens, as we see, for instance, in the confiscation of property cases where they suspect that.
So what he's going into is what Michelle Alexander, black woman, who eloquently pointed out with these illegal forfeitures and seizures that the states are allowed to do with the federal government backing. Okay, take certain people's cars and jewelry and money and homes. BS. Michelle Alexander and her best-selling book, I think it got some Academy Awards, but it was highly praised by all races in this country, like as an excellent work. She pointed out this sad, unfortunate reality of this seizures and forfeiting of possessions that these local and state police officers were able to do in the guise of like stopping the drug, epidemic. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, out of all your books to buy, especially if you're a blackologist, if you're a blackologist, especially if you're a blackologist, you claim you love your people, you never do anything for them physically, but the claim, Michelle Alexander book should be on your shelf. You should have read that thing. You should know it as much as me and better because you're the blackologist. I'm not, right? I'm the coon and you're not the coon. So you should know more about her book than me, right? You should know more about medical apartheid than me, right? You should know more about Jim Crow and the old Jim Crow more than me, right? You clowns, okay? But her book is a book you might want to snatch up. You dig?
If this is drug proceeds, boom, they confiscate your car, every money, all the money you have in the trunk, all the money you have in your wallet. I mean, that's a huge, huge problem, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So we need to have we need to police the police, but.
Hey, did y'all catch that? He said the same thing the Black Panther said. You heard what he said? You heard the advice from this currently practicing lawyer, this attorney. You heard what he said? As a second alternative, we need to police the police, cowards.
To have we need to police the police, but we need to do it. We need to police the police, but we have we need to police the police, but we need to do we need to police the police.
You cowards! That make you cringe, doesn't it? You need to police the police, you cowards. Okay, hiding in your comfort zones. You need to police the police. You heard it from a white guy. Not only you heard it from the Black Panthers. You heard it from a white guy. You need to police the police, you piece of trash cowards.
But we need to do it in a safe manner. And again, I think the concept of the sovereign citizen is far, 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 far too dangerous to do it in that manner. What we need is to do this by the rules that we all created and agreed upon, okay? Going back to the laws, using the laws to our advantage as they are written, taking cases to appeal, creating more law, better law.
Better law, new case law. Isn't that what the Black Panthers all about? Right? The Black Panthers didn't say I'm a sovereign citizen. They pushed the Constitution, you cowards. They advocated and enacted their Second Amendment right to carry weapons. Okay? They didn't claim some sovereign BS. They went along with what he's saying. They went along with the law and held the country accountable to the law. Okay? That's what Black Panthers did. But these clowns today, they're not doing anything the old Black Panthers done. Nothing really up. I mean, I'm talking about the obvious stuff, which is police to police and push the Constitution. You don't hear that from these clowns. They don't even know the Constitution. They're a disgrace. Yo, can you respect somebody who's representing your household, but they don't push the values that you hold high, the most esteemed values in your household? But they claim to be your representative, but they don't push those things. They push the little things that you don't care about the most, the things that you'll compromise. But the things you won't compromise on, the representatives of your family won't push those things. You could never respect that person. Just like I can't respect these fake activists, these fake conscious people, these community revolutionaries, activists, or whatever else. You're not doing anything remotely close to the old Black Panthers. Okay? But you're using their names, you're using their missions and things like that. You're not doing anything like they did. And this is why you don't have the same results or respect that they had. Okay?
We need to evolve forward. The sovereign citizen is trying to evolve us backwards, to devolve back into times of lawlessness and cavemanship. Okay, I am not following these laws. That's out of frustration with the system, I believe. Okay, so maybe if we exert enough pressure and do it civilly, legally, and peacefully, we will eventually change the system. It may take 20 years, but who cares? Start now, and then in 20 years, you reap the benefits, rather than completely ignore it and then simply suffer for maybe forever, and then whatever. So that is my suggestion on the best solution. So.
Right. So you heard it from a lawyer. You dig how he sees it. Okay. So give me a second to pack up. I was in the back patio chilling, and I felt a little raindrop. Cooking the crack pot. Dot. Migos, Bad and Bougie. Yes, I'm out here. Maybe it's okay now. I felt a couple. Got my laptop and iPad out here. I got nerves. I packed up, but it might be good because it stopped doing that. So I'll play the video. You dig? Well, I'll play. He's done with what he had to say. So again, he laid the foundation I want you to hear before I play these traffic stops and these court appearances from these sovereign citizens and Moors. Okay, so now you understand what it's all about, the origins, the white supremacy movement, and the only people to ever be successful, those people were appointed by the actual government or mayor, but definitely an official from this country, empowered them to do what they did. Otherwise, they'd have been locked up and damn themselves. Okay, so we have not seen a sovereign citizen without the empowerment of this country, the backing of this country, to be successful. Everybody who claimed this BS were failures. They didn't win any case. They didn't win any. They were failures. Okay. So let's move on to what I'm gonna go with next. So let's see what Joe Rogan got to say about this.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
See, that is just not wise, right? That's just too much. It's too much to do. When people do that, when they just take on too many different I've thought about other stuff, like doing other stuff. I've had offers to do other stuff, and I start thinking about it. Maybe I could find time for that. And then I give myself coaching. Like, I'm like, what would you tell yourself? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? For me, too, as I get older, something, and I don't mean leisure, like sit around doing nothing.
Jealous, man.
Dude, you should come with us.
Wednesday.
You should come. It's fun.
I've gone a few times with you. Yeah.
Yeah, for inside of a second.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But they're just begging for someone to break in their house. There's people like San Francisco. That guy Zuby, who's on our podcast, he did a bunch of posts about his trip to San Francisco. He's like, it is so dry. Those campers, like Winnipeg,
got pulled over, and she starts like yelling at the cops and shit. Like she lost her job the next day.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was ridiculous. She was trying to throw her weight around.
Yeah,
she didn't realize she was on camera.
Being a bitch.
Corruption, man. That's corruption. You're a citizen, bitch. You know, everybody needs to realize. There was one where a judge got pulled over and they let him slide, but he got in trouble afterwards as well. Because it's on camera, you know, and then someone finds that video and it's like, hey, man, you are a citizen. You're like us. Like if you're speeding or something like that and they pull you over, you can't get out and act like you own these cops. I mean, you got to.
The sovereign citizens movement has some pretty bizarre core beliefs, one of which is that the U.S. Treasury secretly maintains a...
So I did all that talking on mute. That is funny. I did all that time where you didn't hear any audio. That was me talking. I looked at my phone to mute it, and I was already on mute. That's funny.
Secret bank account in the name of every citizen, and that you can do legal filings to get the U.S. government to pay off your debts for you using the secret bank account in your name. They call it the redemption theory or the straw man theory, and it's all fairly outlandish. Obviously, it's not illegal to believe something entirely crazy and wacky, but it is illegal to actually hold seminars and trick people into paying you so they could take advantage of this financial theory that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the redemption theory. There's no such thing as the straw man theory. It's all just goofy stuff designed to separate suckers from their money. The question is, did John Dimitrian actually buy into this stuff? He was a guy who loved urban legends and believed in things that didn't exist, or was he just using these sovereign citizens and telling them that he bought into their theories to get them to smuggle him and Julianne to the US mainland where they could escape justice? Every core belief held by John and Julianne Demetrian was a belief out of convenience because it was going to put some money in their pocket and take money from others. And the sovereign citizens movement was the exact same thing. John and Julianne Demetrian saw them as a means to an end. They aren't true believers in the movement. That said, I've got to hand it to John and Julianne Demetrian. They successfully scammed a domestic terrorist group seeking to overthrow the U.S. government. And that's
they scammed the sovereign citizen movement. Hey, but you see, like, y'all talking that sovereign citizen stuff, but don't understand, like, the inceptions of it, the origins of it. Like, it's to overthrow the government. Now, listen, when I got to get my other laptop because the video is there, okay? Because I played the video on the live, but it was so low. I mean, I could fix it. I could fix it. Or I could find my charger to my other laptop and just play it over with the volume up. And you will understand why the sovereign citizen movement is even created. It'll give more context why it's even created. When you understand the events that led to the Civil War, okay? When you truly understand, I want to get Stupi's back on here because he kind of embarrassed me with the that Europe history. But you dig? I forgive, but I don't forget. I gotta get you back. So I want to get him on here to see his understanding of what led to the events that led to the Civil War. Okay, I think I'm gonna get him on that one. Yeah, he might got me in European history. I'm getting there, but he ain't got me on this law stuff.
It's really saying something.
Okay, so let me get that out of here. Let me see what's next. Okay, what's next? All right, here we go. Last one.
For years, people have tried some very off-the-wall arguments in the courts to try to get rid of their criminal cases. I'm referring, of course, to people who
This is the last video before I play the pullovers and the court appearances. That's going to have you hollering, okay?
Recommend. I certainly would never represent myself in court without the assistance of counsel. I'm not sure that most people would, but there are some who do and might even pull it off effectively. However, trying to enlist sovereign citizenship and sovereign immunity and tax protester arguments won't get you anywhere. I have seen it. It's an embarrassing thing to witness. I've seen guys in custody who would flatly refuse any sort of
Pierre Black, Thurman, peace.
counsel, and I understand that sentiment.
In business, I see you out there.
That's why private attorneys like myself exist, because there is a demand for private attorneys. I get that. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to
Country High Five, peace, man. Y'all gonna love these videos when I play them next.
Fringe beliefs having to do with the government not having any jurisdiction over them, not having any right to hold them in court or hold them in custody or anything like that. Now, there are obviously good legal arguments that you can use to address those points. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about very fringe stuff like the judge not having the right to preside over the case for something that doesn't even have anything to do with the law.
The dudes just be like repeating what somebody told them, and they say, "Nah, it's the law. Like this, the judge can't do it." And they don't Google that. They just go right along with it. Okay, the judge can't do it, and they, oh my God, I felt sorry for some people I played last night. Oh, I felt so bad.
They'll pick some bizarre technicality like the flag pointing the wrong direction.
Yo, the flag pointing the wrong direction. I wish I watched this video before it started. No, I'm not on that slide. Hold on. Okay, now this is another live right here. This is a separate live. Remember I played the sister who was involved. Miss No Man was here. The sister who's been interrogated about her son dying, and the alleged killer was her husband. And she had no emotions toward her son. She even referred to her son as that guy, not my son. You dig? So anyway, this is part two. This is her cousin that she kept asking about. So her cousin's being interrogated. So you guys cannot. I never watched this. But you guys want to watch it with me, okay? So yeah, you want to watch that with me, live commentary. I never watched it. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm watching with you guys for the first time. Shit, I did some goofiness. Hold on, let me go back. Okay. Anyway, right now I'm just trying to find the video of Polite talking about the flag. Everything he just said. Okay, Polite did that. The flag thing. It's pointing the wrong way. And yo, that is hilarious, bro. Let me see if I can pull up that video. Yo, the worst people to deal with is the people who watch all your stuff. Because there's no tricking me. And Tariq Nasheed, he did a good job versus somebody today. I'm gonna play some of that after I play all the stuff first. All right, so I'm gonna play the subject first. When we're done with that, I'm gonna play Tariq Nasheed handle himself pretty well versus a caller who was on some, the wrong time. But let me just first find the video with Polite pointing out the flag, lying, saying pointing out the flag in court. All right, then I'm gonna go back to my man just now. It's gonna be funny. All right. I see a couple of videos. All right. I don't know which one it is. I'm gonna click a bunch. What's this one? How to give birth. Okay, cool. All right. All right. So one of these videos is gonna be it. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm gonna skim through it. Okay, it's definitely one of these videos though. So they're sovereignty videos. Dang, he got so many. Oh my God, I don't know which one it is. All right. Dang, it could be any one of these videos. Oh boy, sorry to make this live longer than it needs to be. But this is important because he actually did that in one of these videos. He got so many pseudo videos. It could be any one of them. God damn. All right, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna look at one more video, then I'm gonna stop. You dig? All right, so I'm just gonna go what we got. I like to believe I got a good memory. So if I can see like a thumbnail of the background, I can let me see. Narrow down. Oh my God. He got so many damn bullshit videos. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, so let me just go with what I got. He got too many pseudo videos. It could be any one of these shits.
When your name is written in all caps letters, so you get your driver's license, you write one way, and your driver's license, your name all caps. You buy your house, your name is this way, on the paperwork, Michael Small. All caps. You get a summons. Why do they?
Yeah, it's funny you say all cap, because this is definitely all cap.
They call it a summons. Because this is a legal fiction. What do we mean by legal fiction?
He said he speaks all these languages. Well, he definitely speaks sovereignty citizen language fluently. That's what he's doing right now.
Fiction, or a person, or a legal person, or an entity is all the same for the word corporation. Why is that relevant? First of all, you say you can't do this to me, I'm a person. Person is a corporation. This is exactly why they can do what they're doing to you. Because you're a corporation. So they'll use a word that you feel you have overstanding.
Yeah, they go by what they hear and not what they actually looked at themselves.
You say you can't do this, I'm a minority. Well, by law, the word minority means an adult that thinks in an adolescent state of mind or younger. If you look up the word minority, it means that you're an adult.
Hey, yeah, I looked that word up. I just cannot find what he just said. I just couldn't do it. I looked in Black Law dictionaries. So I need one of you guys to find the word minor to mean what he's saying it meant.
To think like a child. That's why you need that.
Yeah, I need you guys to verify that in some law book that the word minority is an adult that think like a child. I just could never find that. Even back when I was listening to this guy, taking him serious, I just cannot find that. I just couldn't find the proof. I couldn't substantiate it.
Intervention when you get married, you need a third party to watch you two children.
All right, I'm scared. That's not it. That's not it. Probably. I don't know.
It's a different vibe when you can walk around your house. It's a different vibe when you just got enough space. If you want to just throw, see me before, yeah, you had the blue shirt on. We got our own bank. We got our own master club. We got our own mining concessions. We already got brother. Okay.
So now look at all the things he claimed that he has. Right. That this is 2013. Ask him, does he have any things today?
Let's compete. I've been doing this for 3 years. We already got community. We got our own bank. We got our own master club. We got our own mining.
They got their own bank, their own mining company.
Concessions. We sell gold as our major leading commodity.
They sell gold as a major leading commodity.
Because we got over 25 acres of land in the Ashanti region of Ghana.
They got over 25 acres of land in Ghana.
3 years.
In 3 years.
3 years. So when people do this, the reason why I be talking shit, because you know we black folks. You know, when you went to school after Easter, you got your
That's not it. That's not the video.
And then they do ridiculous shit like that, and then they won't stay. They say because they want their vices. They want to be safe. Damn, that was a waste of potential.
Yeah, that's not it. This mic could be it right here.
Because he already know. He saw somebody first time. Like, this is good. I've been waiting for something better than DMV. Wells Fargo homework said, you ain't talking to me, you talking to Wells Fargo diamonds that came from outer space.
That wasn't it.
Way to digestive tract. This is where it comes from. The first 3 months that a woman. He said, man, I'll hold you and contend the court if you don't post Smith. I said, okay,
I got lucky and that's crazy. I got lucky and found the damn video. I thought I'll never find it. Okay, got him. Hey, you put that in there. Got him. All right, so let's go back. I actually found the video. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Because you see me, I stopped prematurely. I said, no, I ain't doing no more. I look at these first 8 and I'm good. All right, so let's go back. These are videos. Okay, let's go back.
Or the case for something that doesn't even have anything to do with the law. They'll pick some bizarre technicality like the flag pointing the wrong direction, or the eagle.
You heard that. Some flawed technicality. Watch this. Watch this.
Come in with his face on a shirt with the bond number at the bottom. Has your child been sent away by this traffic cop? And we had a stop sign right there, right next to him. Like, nigga, you supposed to be doing this during the day. You ain't supposed to be over here trying to throw me in prison. So we had the judge recuse himself, which is when a judge has to get off the stand and say, I can't deal with this case. He had to recuse himself. We gotta learn the law, man. I got charged with so much stuff, I had to do research on the charges. But it ain't matter though, because when I go to court.
And just for the record, why are sovereign citizens and Moors always in court and getting charged? He said I had so many charges I had to research it. Why are they always with the charges in the court cases? Everyone I ever known personally are always going to court. They can't keep a job and they always got lawsuits. They got lawsuits pending. They never win any money, but they always got lawsuits pending. Everyone, they can't keep a job, man. There's one dude I was working with. I hope he's still working there. My first pharmaceutical, second, it wasn't the first, but his pharmaceutical company. He was a Moor. He was wearing his red hat and everything. Red says, I knew him from my hood. And I was hoping like hell, man. Like anytime he even gets that language, I like change the subject. Like I didn't want him to get in trouble. Like, dude, just keep your job. Like you're doing it. They got you. You got yourself good in here. You got a good position. You make decent money for your family, dude. Just leave that shit alone. I was trying to low key say, dude, leave that shit alone, but you can't say it like that. But I'm just like I cut the conversation off when you're going too deep. Like, yo, stop, bro. You show. But they always working somewhere good, like we're making some money. and they'll be fired because they always going to court. What job wouldn't you if you're in court all the time?
Court, and when you go to court, you don't challenge what they challenge you on. You don't identify with it. You challenge jurisdiction. Do you even have the right to preside over my case? Who are you? So they ask, do you understand the nature of these charges, Michael? I said, I understand the nature of these charges, but not how they apply to me. I say, oh, this slick ass nigga. How do you plead? I say, I don't make pleas, no plea bargains. I'm here on special appearance to challenge the court on the grounds they lack jurisdiction over an organic living soul. Nigga, you guilty. He didn't say nigga though, he might as well said it though. He said, oh, well, we just put the plea in for you. So I said, objection. Under the grounds you lack jurisdiction over organic living soul, make your violation of Article 3 of the supreme laws of the land. Yelling at him, digging into his chest, like this ain't even it. Because when I show you the t-shirt I got on, where I blew up your spot, they use a traffic cop, that's when this shit goes down. I'm playing with it. I in my head, like, I'm playing with this nigga. The second it look like he about to throw me out, and, you know, my fire's gonna be lit on fire, then I'm gonna have to slow him down. I'll see how much of this shit I can get on him. You know, black people, when you're scared as hell, oh no, he gonna get in trouble. Oh, yeah, master gonna get in there. I see this, oh, my head and fingers now. That nigga sound good, but he gonna get hung after that shit. They said, approach the bench. And I said, if I approach the bench, it'll be assumed that you have jurisdiction. If I approach the bench, it'll be presumed you have jurisdiction. He said, man, I'll hold you in contempt of the court if you don't approach the bench. I said, okay, I'm approach the bench. I don't want the case thrown away because some stupidness like that. So I said, you know what? You know what I say? I say, I like the record to reflect, and that's when they have to make sure that they type that in. I like the record to reflect that this is an instance of TDC, threat, duress, and coercion. I'm only doing this because I'm going to be able to prove that this was wrong, but I don't want the case going away to sit in the back and then prove that it's wrong, then come back and then go through the same process again. I'm going to do it, but I'm letting you know I'm only doing it because I can't be wasting my time. I was threatened. I can't afford for this case to go somewhere. I got things to do. I'm here on special appearance because, first of all, I sent the judge a memorandum of law. I got to re-educate him on what the law is. That's what.
So he has to re-educate a judge who's been studying law for like 12 to 20 years. This 9th grade dropout, sometimes 10th grade dropout, depends on what live you catch him on. He says both. A 10th grade, 9th grade dropout is going to educate somebody who's, like he said, 3 years researching it, 3 years, researching this garbage, that he's going to educate a judge who been studying stuff for 20 years, and does it for a career. But okay, go ahead. And, you know, his livelihood depends on his judgments. But you're going to educate a judge. Go ahead, my brother.
What a memorandum of law is. Memorandum just lets you know it must be remembered in Latin. So before you try to judge me, let me remind you about some of these things here, because when you walk into court and they tell you about statutes and codes, that's for corporations. You should be talking to me about laws, because I'm alive, I'm living. So all that statute and corporation stuff, like, hold on. I can get all this stuff registered for no reason. Everybody got it. Everyone that's your superior has this information. Cut it out. And before we talk about what I got accused of, we got to establish the fact that you have jurisdiction to preside over my case. That's not slick talking. Anybody can't just send me somewhere. Take that hat off. This is a headdress to know my nationality. Move your hands. Self-preservation is first law in my inherited birthright. In other words, the nigga told I ain't doing shit. Just trying to say it the right way, legally, so I don't get kicked out. But they feel it. And when all else fails, you don't know what the hell they talking about?
Okay, now let me remind you.
Pointing the wrong direction, like they'll pick some bizarre technicality, like the flag pointing the wrong direction, or the eagle pendant on top of the flagpole facing an incorrect direction. I mean, just some off-the-wall stuff
because you're talking too loud. Like the regular flag, can't even understand me. Say I'm claustrophobic first of all, and he's yelling too loud. They can get my thoughts, collect my thoughts again. But meanwhile, the whole time, wait till I pull out the board number, son. I'm just doing this to, sharpen my sword to see where I'm at. Playing with this guy. I want to know how I'm gonna lose a case if you're a traffic cop. That's what I would like to know. I walked in there like, nah, I'm gonna try some of this shit on him. And my people's watching me, I'm gonna go in. I'm going in. I had the whole courtroom filled. People were outside. I'm like, I'm going in today. Because I knew at the end of the day, I'm coming home. There's no way. We're gonna go nuts and let everyone know that this guy hasn't even graduated from traffic school. What is he doing? Sending black men and women to prison for murder. And when I beat this case, can't be tried for the second time. Lucky I learned this information when I was positive. Because if I was a real effed up nigga, I'd be out there catching bodies on purpose and saying, yeah, I already know who they gonna put on my case and I'm getting away with it.
You heard him? He believed the sovereign citizen doctrine that he could catch bodies and get away with it. Listen.
Saying, yeah, I already know who they gonna put on my case and I'm getting away with it. Catching bodies, I learned this information when I was positive. Because if I was a real effed up nigga, I'd be out there catching bodies on purpose and saying, yeah, I already know who they gonna put on my case and I'm getting away with this shit. And that's what we want to stop, that nigga shit. We want to stop that. Some niggas already niggas finally found something to lay that nigga down. Niggas pull out their flag of pride like this shit is pump. Cause push this way back like ASAP, straight out the class. Write me up an affidavit, son. I got it. So we don't want people getting evil with the information. We don't want to kill each other because we can get away with it. We don't want to do that.
You heard what he said. We don't want to kill each other and get away with it. So he really believes that it can kill somebody, and because they're sovereign, this country still has no jurisdiction to prosecute them. I guess they're diplomatic immunity, so they got to just send off. Got the X terminology. They got to send them to their country, deport them. There you go. They got to deport them back to their country and hope that their country prosecute them for the crime they commit on American soil.
So we don't want people getting evil with the information. We don't want to kill each other because we can get away with it. We don't want to do that. But who we do want to kill mentally and intellectually is our oppressor. We want to take it to them and let them know we're not taking this no more as a community. And we're awake now, and we know that you can't do this no more. We presiding over that. In fact, by the time you go to court, you should not be starting off from where they started. They should be continuing off from the conversation of your paperwork. No one should be up to speed on your conversation but you. In court, they say, what do they say? Your Honor? Yes, Your Honor? No, when you defend yourself, you say, yes, my honor. He says, no, it's your honor. I said, that's what I just said.
Oh.
Because you're there on special appearance. You're the living. You're not alive. You get taxed. You're not alive. I'm the living soul. It's very important. They can't have cases against the living. I got it in the book. I show you the cases.
Like you said, this 19th grade dropout is going to show you how they... This goofiness, man.
Where people are free because they were identified as the living. And once they get caught into that conversation, you can't deal with the living if you're a corporation yourself. We need this information.
Who believes that garbage?
Because it makes you money. Number one reason. Because I'm not with learning information that don't make you money. And it saves you money. We had enough information that we can't do nothing with in the community and passed off to us as spirituality. Enough is enough now. How much more churches do we need in here before we realize the churches is making us poor, is keeping us poor? I'm not saying God, I'm not saying Jesus, I'm saying those Negroes in there playing with your lives and playing with your money are acting like they don't know that they're in a lower income community.
Yeah, but why did he hire an attorney for his pending charges now? If you can get away with a murder, which is anybody will tell you this, any law enforcer, any legislator will tell you that the worst crime you can do is murder, right? You know, that's the ugliest crime. Let me say that's the ugliest crime you can do is murder. Okay, murder usually when a city is full of murderers, that usually get legislators, attention more than any other crimes. Okay. Now, if you could beat a murder case with this jargon, you could definitely beat a molesting case or whatever you're charged with now easily with the same jargon. But my man hired an attorney.
That needs some information to get them out of poverty, because we don't get out of poverty, somebody way is getting pushed back, and that's just reality. Because when you don't have no money.
All right, let's stop right there. Let's get back to the lawyer. Matter of fact, let's get into some gangster, okay? Let's do it. All right, let's do it. I'm tired of playing around. Yeah, y'all tired of waiting. There we go.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you
My
doing?
name's Officer Usher, Baltimore County Police. Need to let you know you're being audio and video recorded.
So I know I played this last night, but I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna give better commentary. I was sleepy last night, but I got 20 more videos than this one, believe me. So I'm gonna play this again, give better commentary. Let's go.
No, I don't. What's that?
I don't.
It's just your tints, man. Your tints are far too dark, and you got tints on the front windshield. You're not allowed to do that.
All right, I get that. Situated.
Are you the registered owner?
I get that situated.
Are you the registered owner of the car?
May I speak to a supervisor?
You want to speak to a supervisor in
Yes.
reference to what?
I just want to speak to a supervisor.
In reference to? I mean, I can get a supervisor out here. I just need to let him know what you're calling him out here for. You know what I mean?
Because I have these papers right here.
So he has those papers that he bought from Brothers Polite or somebody like him, like that. All right, somebody like a Brother Polite. He got those papers for him, and he don't have to ride with any plates or any registration, any license. Okay, so let me know. I'm gonna play without muting myself on the phone. Let me know if the echo's too loud. Please let me know, because this would destroy the live. If the echo is too loud, let me know. I just mute. But right now, I'm not gonna mute. But let me know if the echo is like clear, and I'll just mute it.
Okay. So I'll get the tint took off.
Okay.
But if it's a problem, then I would like to speak to a supervisor.
What do you mean if it's a problem? Like if it's illegal?
No, like I know that it's not illegal because I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
Okay.
But I'm saying
You're operating a motor vehicle. I mean, we can agree on that.
So I'm just saying, if that's a problem, then I would like to speak to a supervisor.
Okay, I understand that. I'll get a supervisor started out here. Okay.
And
you
look,
got your license or?
That's some of the talking points. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Hey, yo, when I play this judge right here, hold on, right here. Oh my God, that's the other video. Sorry. When I play this judge right here, okay, this judge right here, when that dude says I'm not traveling, when that dude says I'm not driving, I'm just traveling, watch this judge response. I was out of my chair, man. I was out of my chair. My man was not tolerant of none of that garbage. He stopped. He cut that thing short. Listen, we ain't doing that here. I'm gonna continue to court. We ain't doing that. Nigga, you driving. Watch. Yeah, that was funny, man.
Or any sort of identification with you?
No.
You don't have any sort of identification?
No.
Do you have a Maryland driver's license?
I don't have a driver's
That is
license
correct.
because I'm not driving it.
No. Do you have a Maryland driver's license?
I don't have a driver's license because I'm not driving it.
I know. I understand that. But you know, you're operating a motor vehicle.
Hey, yo, what's sad is that this is a black young brother, probably 24 years or younger. And some black man, some black woman lied to this brother and ruined his life, probably ruined his driver's suspensions for many, many years. Let me reiterate that. Let me correct that. Probably ruined his driving privileges for many, many years under this false, just for $100 man. You'll give me $100, you could drive without a license, drive without insurance, because you're a sovereign citizen, you're more, and your government says it's okay, and their government's allied with yours, so just let them know all that, they'll get it. But the average cop will come to your door, he's not going to understand it. You got to call for a supervisor or somebody over the supervisor, and they're going to get it. Lie to these young this youth, man. And you know whose fault it is? It's your fault. is your fault. Okay? It's not anybody in my chat fault because you're watching the videos and you're able to educate these young guys when they have these crazy ideas. But your fault for the guys who watch my videos for entertainment and not educational purposes. It's your fault that your youth is buying this bullshit and their lives are ruined for many, many, many years because their driving privileges are suspended. Okay? But this young man right here is done for a couple years, possibly. This is ridiculous, man. It's our fault for not. We talk goofiness, sports, and goofiness with these guys. We don't talk law, civics with these guys. Because had he understood civics earlier, before he met with the sovereign citizen movement, he'd have never believed that garbage. Because he'd have been rudely sound in what's really the laws of the land.
You and I can agree on that. You say that you're traveling, I say you're driving. We can agree on the grounds that you're operating a motor vehicle, yes? You're currently in Baltimore County.
Can I speak to a supervisor?
I'm going to get a super. I'm just explaining all of this out to you. I see you got your video started. I want to give you the best explanation that I can, okay?
Yes, sir.
So you and I can meet on the common grounds that you're operating a motor vehicle on Baltimore County roads in the state of Maryland. Yes? We agree on that. You're not driving, you're traveling.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
I agree that I'm traveling.
So even the officer just said, you're not, listen to the officer carefully. For you dogs out there that act like every officer, every white officer, or just officer period, because you don't even say white. I say white because I try to like help you guys out. White officers, 'cause that's pretty much what you mean. But officers, let's say all officers, all other than white, that they're just trash. This officer actually agreed to the jargon. He said, I understand you're not driving, you're traveling. Look, I'm running back. I'm going to run that back, Turbo. Listen to me. Listen to it carefully, Turbo.
We agree on that. You're not driving, you're traveling.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with
You heard him? You're not driving, you're traveling. So this officer is aware of this bullshit in Baltimore. I got to get at Unc and Sheffrin. And Razin, you too. The youth should be knowing about this bullshit. They should be educated correctly on civics and driving laws. It's y'all fault. And it's my fault for anybody who don't know it in my city.
I agree that I'm traveling.
You're traveling on Baltimore County roads in a motor vehicle that you're operating.
Can I speak to a supervisor?
Like I said, I'm.
As a matter of fact, if gas wasn't so crazy right now, I will ride to East Orange, which is close to New York, and be my man shop to let people know. Like, listen, everybody, I want to just let y'all know because a lot of youth being there. Listen, you need a license, all right? Okay, you try that, you're going to jail. Okay. But other barbershops that I'm around, I'm just gonna say it this weekend. I'm gonna go in there, but I wish gas wasn't so crazy. I wish the pandemic didn't affect my business because then I wouldn't care about gas. I'd just be traveling like these guys, not driving, traveling, and I would just be doing what I do. But I'm definitely gonna let people know, from now on when I'm in the presence of the youth, I'm gonna let them know.
I'm gonna get one started out here. No big deal. All right.
Start with my nephew.
Grab your name real quick.
And little cousin.
IME Bay.
What's are you the registered owner?
So his name is IME Bay. That's his pseudonym that he won't give the officer. Oh, that's his where's no man? That's his DBA. That's his doing business as name. Remember that live no man?
IME Bay.
No, I understand that. Is this your vehicle? Or did you steal it? You borrow it?
Can I speak to a supervisor?
Like I said, I'm gonna get one started out here, no big deal.
Right. Take the 10 ticket and get out of there, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have insurance for the vehicle?
Can I please speak to a supervisor?
I'm gonna get one started out here. Like I said, no big deal. All right.
All right, thank you.
And listen to me. This brother really believes when he speaks to a supervisor, the supervisor is going to agree with everything he's going to say and acknowledge his sovereignty, and then be like, okay, man, take on, go ahead and drive without your license, your insurance, your registration. Just go live your life. Keep traveling across the country if you want. He really believes that because some piece of trash black adults who lied to this dude, man. Don't care nothing about him. That's like selling crack. When you sell crack to somebody, you don't give a damn nothing about that person afterwards. Okay? And of course, a dealer, he's a scammer, so all he cares about is the profit. But I'm telling you, for civil people like me looking at that transaction, you just want to make money and you care nothing about the well-being of the person who received your product. So this person who received this paperwork product, the person who sold it to him don't give it. It's like selling that person crack, man. You know, selling this paperwork is like selling crack. You care nothing about the well-being of the recipient. Let's go.
You mind if I look over this stuff?
Look over
Thirsty
what?
P.
Your paperwork right there. I just want to make sure I don't violate any sort of your code of ethics, all right? You mind if I take it and read it?
Yes, exactly, new world order.
That's an oath to
on a block. You gotta have power behind you.
To the office. That's the oath that you take.
Do I need to read that one as well?
This is just the court papers that back it up, but I would like to speak to a supervisor.
Okay, you mind if I read that? I'd like to. I mean, I'd like to understand a little bit more about what you're saying, you know.
Can I speak to a supervisor?
I'm gonna request a supervisor as soon as I go back to my vehicle.
Okay.
Like I said, I just want to understand a little bit more. I don't want to violate any sort of your code of ethics or anything like that. Okay, that's how we're gonna do it. I appreciate it. Hang tight for 1 second.
All right.
Now, imagine how the police officer views this guy. And just, I mean, I can imagine. He just seemed as like, hey, this dude is lost. This dude is absolutely lost. This black youth, you know, and I can imagine that he already have stereotypes amongst black people to begin with, right? How could he not? He's white. You don't understand black culture. And this infraction just confirms his bias. But yeah, these dudes are retarded.
Hey, Antonio. Do me a favor and roll down your window so I can speak with you.
So remember, he said his name was IME Bay, but the officer looked him up and came back with Antonio. Right? He knows government. He knows everything about this clown. Nah. He's a youth. I'm easy on the youth. By the way, I'm 44 years old. I'm easy on anybody 30 and under. Okay? I'm sympathetic. I'm tolerant. I'm empathetic. I'm understanding of anybody 30 years and under. I get them passes. Anybody 31 and older, and you believe this bullshit, I got no compassion for you. I hope the worst for you. You dig? Because you're old enough to know by now. That means when you got to 31 years old, that means you disregarded a lot of sound advice. I don't rock with you. You dig? So if this dude was 31 and older, I'll be laughing hard right now, hoping the worst happened to this clown. Not death, of course, but legally, you know, as far as paperwork, tickets, and jail time. But that's I got low tolerance for 31-year-olds and older, because we try to talk to them. They act like they knew everything, and they disregarded our advice, our suggestions, our expertise, all that type of talk. So you on your own. But this dude clearly is not 31 and over, so I'm not laughing at this guy. For other people, I'm laughing at.
All right, so here's the deal. I know you have a learner's permit, okay? You don't have a driver's license. Your name's Antonio Clifford Jackson Jr., date of birth 9/27/98. You're 5'7", 135. I pulled your picture up.
That's my ex-relation of me.
Okay, yeah, I pulled your picture up in the car. So here's the thing. When you went to the MVA to get your learner's permit, you submitted to a whole bunch of rules and regulations to follow.
Right. To get a learner's permit, he definitely was Antonio. You did. He wasn't IME Bay when he went to apply apply for learning permit. He was Antonio. All right. So the officer pulled your card. This officer is kind of wise and up to the game on this bullshit.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. I know that you're driving without a license. You're driving with a learner's permit. I have a couple options right now. Okay, I can give you a whole bunch of tickets, give you a whole bunch of warnings.
Okay.
Or I can make you get out of the car, find another ride, and tow your car because you're driving without a license.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now. So
got him.
If you want, my supervisor's on the way out here right now. Like I said from the very beginning, no big deal. So, is this how we're gonna play? Because I'll go back and I'll start writing the tickets right now. You can go ahead and call for a ride because I'm gonna tow the car. You're driving without a driver's license. So.
Now, his facial expression. Remember, I look at body language and facial expression. He accepted the L. At this point, he accepted the L. Everything he thought would work, he see that it did not work, and this is an L. He understands that the car is gone, and he has to take all these tickets and walk home. And by the officer acknowledging his or pinpointing his address, he's like many miles away from his home. This is a long ass walk. So my man is now realizing this is an L. This is not a W. This is not a dub. You dig? It's not Dub Nation.
If you want to keep this charade up, I mean, like I said, I'm cool with towing your car. That doesn't make a difference to me. But you got that all on video. I've been nothing but nice to you. I've explained everything to you. What's it gonna be? My supervisor's on his way out here right now. You want me to go start writing the tickets?
I want you to get the supervisor.
He's on his way out here right now. All right, but I'm gonna be proactive and productive and start writing those tickets for you. All right? Call somebody to give you a ride, okay? All right, I'll be right back.
Hey, can I have that paper?
All right. This did not end well for him, as you can imagine. Oh my God, commercial, man, come on. Oh no. We're not doing that. Oh yeah, okay. I think he didn't play the rest. I could have sworn supervisor came, but maybe he didn't. All right, come on. All right, next one. All right, so that's his Grand Sheik, I guess. A dude named Tariq. Why all the names are Tariq? Okay, hold on. So let's get to this traffic offense.
Hold over. Let's see what this is about.
Hey, sir.
Yeah.
All right. The reason I'm pulling you over, man, is I was right behind you. We were doing 80 and 55.
He's doing 80 and a 55, okay?
Okay.
Talk about being undetected.
You have license, registration, insurance?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't need that to travel. I'm a Moorish American national traveling to Morocco. I don't have to have. There you go. Supposed to get that to y'all.
So he gave him his paperwork. He paid $100 something, maybe $300 for $100 to $300 worth of paperwork he got. No different than the credit repair guys who send you paperwork and charge you a hefty fee. Moore's people ain't no different than the credit repair people. Same people. Both scamming you, separating the sucker from his cash. They're the same people.
What's the deal, man? Can you roll this window down?
No, you can read that right there.
So I can talk to you?
I'm talking to you.
Okay, he said roll the window down. Although you don't have to, I would advise, right, as somebody who's not an attorney or any position of power or expertise or certification, just your brother, right, talking to you. I would advise you roll your window down. That cannot hurt, okay? Whatever window they ask you to roll down, you should do it, unless it reveals some criminal activity in your car. Then I would say don't do it. Okay, I'll say do not roll your window down if your window being rolled down will expose some criminal activity in your car. If your car is clean with nothing in there illegal, listen, this is unbiased. I'm telling you, you should roll your window down. Like, you want to make the stop as cordial as possible. You want him to be the aggressor if there's one at all. All right? But that's just going to create problems, especially at nighttime. This is at nighttime. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, because you want them to not have a reason to blow your head off, right? Not when you're not rolling your windows down. He could say, hey, there's a gun in the back seat, or I thought there was one. I perceived as there one because he wouldn't roll it down. And he reached in his back seat like he had something to hide. So I shot his ass. I couldn't take a risk. And, you know, that's how that happens.
Am I not? Can you not hear me clear enough? And you're also being video and audio recorded.
I understand. That's
fine.
All
right. If you read that, you will.
Okay, you don't have a license plate on your vehicle?
He does. He's driving without a license plate. The other brother, I believe, had one, just wasn't registered. So his tags were like the wrong color. This brother has no, this is humorous, but it's sad, because these brothers are being lied to by their own people, pieces of shit, sovereign people. Remember, the lawyer earlier said, the DUI guy lawyer said that when you carve out a land for sovereign people, it'll be a bunch of chaos and recklessness and lawlessness. And this is what they're doing now. Like, to this sovereign who gave them this paperwork, to him, shit, they ain't against his law. And he like, yo, F morals and ethics, man, F that. My law states that I'm allowed to sell my services and products to anybody that's willing to pay for it. Give a damn how fraudulent it is. You pay, you got it. It's being sent to you.
If you read.
So we are being exploited by our own people, knowing they know because they tried themselves, it didn't work. And they're going to sell it to this clown right here, man. And it's usually people, from my experiences, it's usually people who are on probation or parole or have like child support, in arrears, right? It's hella child support. These are the main people who fall for the sovereignty shit.
You don't have driver's license?
If you read the paper, it will answer all of your questions.
What is this paper?
Explains to you policy enforcers that I have the inalienable right to travel without a driver.
Inalienable right to travel without a driver's license. The paperwork he gave this guy. Okay? This is crazy.
License, insurance, or state issued valid driver's license. If you read the first two lines on that paper, it's on there, and it's.
Well, that's fine. Like I said.
So he expects the officer to read the words of a grand sheik in the Moorish Science Temple that he can drive without a license, and the officer is supposed to respect that. That's what they're taught in these bullshit classes.
You're not telling me any information. You're not telling me who you are.
I don't have.
I tell you why I pulled you over.
You're absolutely right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
You pulled me over for what reason again?
Because I'm on the highway right next to you, and you're doing 80 and a 55 all the way up here. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's against the law.
It's not against the law.
To speed?
As a matter of fact.
So you see lawlessness. He's agreeing that he did 80 and a 55 and is not against the law because he's a Moor. They're not under the jurisdiction, aka the law of the United States. Okay? They're not under it. That means they can ignore it and do what the law says don't do. They believe this because they're in classes with these clowns, man. That's why I like Taharka Bey, because he calls those Moors out. They're misrepresenting the Moorish science of America, and they're giving them a bad name. So he calls them out, which I would. Like, I don't want anybody misrepresenting what I stand for. I'm going to call you out. That's why I call Tariq Nasheed out on his SBA bullshit. And not that SBA is a bad idea. It just is bullshit that's mixed in with it. I'm going to call him out on that.
Do you have a supervisor I can speak to? Because I'm going to exercise my inalienable right to remain silent. Because you won't. I've given you the paperwork. You won't even look at it to read it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get one started.
All right.
Okay? Go ahead and get your driver's license.
Look, they call it a contract. Yeah, we don't see how it works.
Oh, here we go with this shit.
The police department agent wants to extort this free Moor into contacting his ineligible rights on his private automobile over to the colonial state and being free. Yeah, you might. Yeah, it is colonized. It's been colonized. It's over. It's no longer colonized. It's recognized as an American state, my boy. He may be under duress for his own safety and for the protection of Lila. That's a more his grand sheik justifying why this bullshit didn't work. You seen the video, he uploaded and he added commentary to it. The grand sheik. It's very sad, man. But people, I try to share information, and you could use the word teach. I try to teach the right way, but nobody shows up. But his grand sheik teaches the wrong way, and everybody shows up in the multitudes of hundreds and thousands. You know, not all in person, but maybe online, peeking at videos. This got 100,000 views, by the way. But my lives, you know, sharing the right way to handle law enforcers, no views, 100 views. Bullshit information, 100,000 views.
So I don't have to. The camera dirty? Must be. There. This morning. You're waiting for it? I'm late to work.
And he gotta go to work with no place. Like, yeah, can you imagine when he goes to work? Like, he claims he's going to work. Who knows what work means to him? But what work means to us is that he's working for a business, right? A corporation or something. And we expect employees to be there. Can you imagine he's pulling up to work with no inspection sticker, with no registration on his, you know, no registration tags on his plates because he don't have any plates. Can you imagine what his coworkers are saying? Like, yo, what's up? Yeah, that gotta be the first thing. That gotta be the first thing they notice. That my man has no inspection sticker and no plates. They're like, yo, you good? Yo, what's up with you? He explained his Morris bullshit to them. They be confused, like, well, I guess it works because you get here every day. But not today, though. My man know the Morris law. We got that white long cigarette, though. He got that white long cigarette. You can see he don't listen to Dr. Fred Krantz Welsing video about that cigarette. But he got that cigarette, though. He know Morris law, but he don't know Morris diet. Morris health.
Hurry up and wait for the process. I'm a more
wait that long. I'm gonna fast forward this
petrol. Ass, yo.
Sergeant Avila, you were asking for a sergeant?
Yes, I was. I don't see the reason why I was stopped.
The officer said that you were going 80. This is a 65-mile-an-hour zone on the highway. Were you aware of that?
That's a posted suggested speed limit.
That's a speed limit.
See, I can give better commentary now because I'm wide awake. I'm not sleepy. Hey, yo, he said that's a suggested speed limit. Like, oh my God. Like, I can't get an example of a business giving you a suggested. Like, I didn't want to do it. I'm just going to ignore that. Listen, I'll just go for it. He said the speed limit is suggested, meaning that it's not like absolute.
Limit. Not a suggested
speed limit.
That's a speed limit. Not a suggested speed limit. It's a speed limit.
Okay.
Is that what the sign says? A speed limit?
That's what it states on the sign.
Limit, right. So that's a state speed limit.
So now will this clown go into a woman's bathroom? Because it's suggested just for women. I mean, they're both bathrooms. They both got a stall and everything is identical. But this one says male and this one says female. Do you go into the female bathroom because it's just suggested? I mean, this is goofy shit, man. So, I mean, and if you see a sign that says do not enter or no access to the public, is that just suggested or do you just, that's what the lawyer meant by cherry picking. Okay, that means that you have the right to violate all laws and suggested, images or signs. You dig?
Correct.
You are absolutely 100% correct.
Right.
A corporate state speed limit. You're right.
And that's the reason why he had stopped you.
Okay.
Also, you didn't have a license plate on your vehicle.
Right.
So
it's not required.
It's not registered in the state of Colorado.
Yeah, he's driving. Yeah, he's doing something. Yeah, listen. I hate to make these dumb arguments. If you from the hood, then you at one point drove around with no registration or expired registration and no expired insurance. No, I mean I done that. I'm from the hood. And I drove with expired registration and I drove with expired insurance. But that doesn't mean that you only got to be from the hood. Or I'm sorry, that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that you have to. That doesn't mean you're not from the hood. There we go. That doesn't mean you're not from the hood because you never drove with an expired registration or an expired insurance. That does not mean you're not from the hood. All right. You just was smarter than me. Or I'm sorry, you were not because I wasn't being cool. I was getting to work. So I would say you were not as desperate as me. I was desperate to get to work. So I drove one time with expired registration, and the next time I drove with my insurance being expired. Okay, so you are not as desperate as me. Okay, you have more things in order.
Colorado.
It's not required.
And this is all post-pandemic. This is during the pandemic and post-pandemic that I done those things. There's nothing before the pandemic. I was all good. You dig? And believe me, September you're gonna see a different unbiased. You dig? I'm gonna be doing my thing. Projected to be doing my thing.
Whenever you
again.
I'll let the car go by so I can.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So whenever you're traveling on the state of Colorado roadway, it needs to be registered in the state of Colorado.
That's not true, sir.
Yes, sir, it is. That's the reason why we have license plates.
If you're a corporate entity that adheres to the corporate laws, then yes, you are 100% correct. You're 100% correct. Are you
a licensed driver in the state of Colorado, sir?
I'm not licensed in any state to drive.
Okay. So in the state of Colorado,
I'm exercising my inalienable right to travel.
You're required to have a driver's license to travel on the state of Colorado roadway.
That is not true, sir. But I'm not going. It's not an argument for the side of the road.
You either. I'm just trying to get this rectified.
As am I, because I'm on my way to work and I'm late.
My officer's just pulling you over because you're traveling 80 miles an hour in a posted 65-mile-an-hour speed limit. That's the reason why my officer's pulling you over.
Okay.
Okay. And that's what he was trying to explain to you. Is that
no, I understood that. I understood that was the reason for him, or his reason for stopping me. I understood that.
Right. So right now, all he's doing is conducting a traffic stop. So he's trying to find out who you are and explain the traffic infraction to you as to why he was stopping you. And that's the only thing he was doing.
Okay, if you can ask him, I didn't argue with him or anything.
Right. We're perfectly fine, sir.
Okay.
And I'm not arguing with you either. I'm just explaining. That's all, because you requested a sergeant to come here. So I'm just advising you of what it is that he advised me.
Okay.
And that's all.
All right.
So, did you supply him with your name and date of birth?
No, I didn't supply him with anything. It's not required. Here, I'll give you this out as well.
Okay.
I mean, this is Supreme Court law. So what you're saying is law that you're going by. I'm going by the Constitution, which you guys took an oath to, which is law in this country. It's law.
Right.
It states I don't have to identify myself. I don't have to have quote-unquote state-issued license plates, registration, or driver's license. I'm not driving. Driving is conducting commerce. I am traveling. Look up the definition. I'm just stating facts.
I understand.
All right.
You're certainly traveling, but the thing is, you're traveling on a state roadway.
Sir,
if you were traveling like on a rural roadway, things like that, that's certainly different.
Sir, I've run into state troopers, I run into federal agents, and the same applies. It's Supreme Court law, which is the highest law. It was the supreme law of the land.
Right.
That is fact. That's why I have private property in the back of my window. Registration. I mean, I've been through.
In the back of his window, he like, you know, you got the for sale stuff, not the for sale sign, but the chalk. You know, the chalk. Congratulations, or we graduated. He got that chalk, and he put whatever you just said just now in the back of his car. Private property. There we go. He wrote with chalk, car chalk, window chalk, private property. And he believes the officer's supposed to respect that. Yeah, but this is what they're being trained in these classes, man. These sovereign citizen classes. I can't say Moors classes because not all Moors teach that, to be fair. But these are definitely in sovereign citizen classes. So the Moors who adopt the sovereign citizen movement, these are in their classes.
Through this several times.
And let me say, I appreciate everybody who came in. You did check me out because you didn't have to, you know. But there will be a part 2.
Okay.
And maybe a part 3.
So what you're saying is that you don't want to supply the officer with your name or date of birth or anything like that.
I'm not required to by law.
So what you're saying is that you don't want to.
Wait.
I'm not required to.
Wait. Yeah, did you hear this dude? He's talking to a law enforcer, and he told him by law he's not required to a law enforcer, somebody who enforces the law. He's like, yo, what law book are you reading? Like, yo, listen, whatever law book you're reading is different than mine, okay? And what's the difference between you and I? I have a badge, I have a gun, I have a taser, I have handcuffs, and I have, most importantly, reinforcement. What do you have? Like I said before, to challenge this government, you better have firepower. They don't care about your money, your social status, all that bullshit. To challenge this country, you better have firepower, or they will never, ever, ever respect you. Okay? Like they shouldn't.
By law,
Well,
sir.
I'm asking you whether you want to.
My name is Tariq.
Tariq, thank you, sir. May I ask?
And I'm late to work.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll be all right.
Oh, you're not going to work, my boy. Unless this officer just like don't want to deal with you at all, just like let the officer get you. You're not going to work.
Just curious as to what your travel is. Where are you going from here?
I'm going to Longmont. I'm traveling to Longmont.
You're going to Longmont.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Here's your paperwork back. Okay. I'm going to ask you for a favor. Okay. You are traveling in the municipality of Thornton, city of Thornton, state of Colorado. Okay. When you're traveling through our city, can you please adhere to the speed limit, not suggested speed limit, so that way the officer does not have to contact.
Yo, so for all you dogs, I call you dogs. For all you two-legged dogs that believe, hold on.
Is that an agreement we can have?
There's an agreement we can have.
Very good, sir. Then you can be on your way.
All right.
If you're good with.
Okay, so now let me say it. For all you dogs out there, you disgusting black two-legged dogs that believe that all officers, and more specifically white officers, are inherently just racist and hate black folks. He let this man go with no license plates and whatever else he doesn't have. But I don't know why. Maybe he got a call, which was more serious, or maybe he just felt like, yo, I'm about to get off of work. My body cam ain't on, only his. He got his regular cam. My shit is off. It's not being recorded. My sergeant won't see it. Yo, man, have a nice day. And I believe he's betting on the next county to pull this black man over. All right. For you dogs that believe that every cop, and more specifically white cops, are inherently racist and hate black people, this dude let this brother go. He ain't want no smoke with none of that jargon. He most likely is probably getting off, and he got a family to feed and take care of, and kids. He probably got a newborn, 3 months years old. I hate when I see that. Years. At 3 months old. He dig that he just want to go see and spend the rest of the night with. And that's all he's thinking about. He ain't thinking about no overtime, none of that. Dude, listen, be on your way, and most likely the next county gonna pick you up, and that's their problem.
This is the officer that stopped you, just so that you know who stopped you. Okay. And again, like I said, it was for the posted speed limit violation, and that you didn't have a driver's license plate on your vehicle.
Okay, and like I said, the officer will tell you I wasn't rude or anything. That's specific. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right,
just shut up, man. Letting you go. Just shut up.
There's no reason to be rude or anything like that. I'm not
absolutely
rude to you, am I?
No, sir.
Okay,
absolutely not.
All right, sir. Tariq, So thank you again. Please adhere to the speed limit.
All right. Okay. So that more quarter break.
We got right.
Okay. What about this more? What about this more? Okay. I'm a traveling man traveling through space and time most day. I'm traveling basketball. This is hilarious. You dig? So this is gonna be the last video until about 10:30, which I'll probably do an hour so I don't fall asleep. And I'll play some more. But we'll probably have 3-4 parts of this, 5 parts, because you didn't even see the Moors in court. You didn't even see the sovereign citizens in court, which are hilarious. All right, so it's the last video. Then I got to move out. I had a phone call. I got to move out. And that's why I went so early. I went so early because I knew Friday night. You know, y'all get it. Friday night, people call and whatever. Actually, people are from out of state, from Georgia here. And, you know, I'm going to go see them, whatever. And we'll probably go. I'm probably going to do an hour live, just to do part 3. Or I might do the sister being interrogated. I might even do that one. Look at that damn mosquito. Now, I left the spray in the other, and then, man, oh, man. This filthy goddamn mosquito. You little dog. Where you go? Man, I hate mosquitoes. They didn't bit me up, though.
Right, man. I'm a Moor. We got rights.
I'm a Moor. I got rights. What rights do you have? Okay, because the only rights that this police officer know you have is constitutional rights. What other rights do you have other than constitutional rights?
Right, man. I'm a Moor. We got rights, man.
Earlier that day.
Back in, man. We good. I know, I'm just recording.
Now, the one thing that these Moors are doing correctly is that they're recording their contact with a police officer. That's the same advice I give you guys. That's what they're doing. I give them credit for that.
Hey, man. Hey, can I get your badge number, sir? Sir, just... I'm good. Can I get I'll stay right here. Can I get your badge number, sir? No. Chill. Chill. 1235? Chill. For the record? All right.
It's somewhere, man. I gotta find it.
Man, for your reason for stopping us, sir? No, sir. I need the reason. Shut up, Herb. You got your insurance? Okay, you gotta give us a reason for stopping us.
Nah, Targa Bay official.
It still gotta be a reason. I'm a recording, bro. Can I get sir? Can I get your reason for stopping us? I'm talking to the driver, not you. But I'm still recording. For the record. I want to know the reason for stopping us. For the record. What's the reason? Reason why I stopped you because you was failing to maintain your lane. No, that's not true.
That's not true.
Sir, you got your lights on, sir? Have a crime been committed?
Now look, that's that polite stuff right there. Now this guy, well, he said he's a Moor. All right, now look, Moors, I was gonna give you a break. I was gonna say, nah, he's part of New Covenant, but because he said he's a Moor earlier, I can't even do that. He's a Moor, and he went to the lights thing. So evidently, you guys are teaching that stuff too. Your lights for has a crime been committed. Yes, you violated traffic laws, my boy. You couldn't stay in your lane, allegedly. Now, with the right attitude, this is not always a guaranteed ticket.
It's the same insurance as these right here. I gotta find it, but I got insurance. Everything good on this car. I live right here. I'm good. I'm at home. Yeah, you ain't gotta worry about that. I'm at home. Everyone say I'm at home. So you got your lights on? Shut up. No, don't worry about that, man. I'm asking him a question. This is legal. This is legal.
Oh, so somebody in the passenger side holding the cameras or more, and he's the one who's trying to agitate the cop to give the driver some fines. And the driver saying, yo, chill, yo, stop with that bullshit. But the passenger keeps like implying, or not implying, he keeps like overpowering the driver saying, nah, I'm going to use my Moor shit right now. And that's what seems to be going on right now. So you're going to hear two voices. The driver keeps telling the passenger to relax, stop doing that. And the passenger keep doing it.
This is legal matter. I'm talking legalese now.
You see?
I'm talking jurisprudence.
That's the passenger. I'm talking legalese. I'm talking jurisprudence. The driver like, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm just switching lanes. That's it. You know, I switched lanes the way I shouldn't. You know, relax. I might not even get a ticket. Yo, chill out. Nah, I'm speaking legalese. I'm speaking jurisdiction. Yo, your lights on. What crime been committed?
Sir, you got your lights on back there? Has a crime been committed? Or do you suspect this of a crime?
Now, I say the same thing about the reasonable articulable suspicion, which he can't say. He don't know nothing about that. And you guys maybe listen, maybe not listen. But this Moore says it the wrong way, and he's heard. How many views is this one got? 3,000. You could say 4,000 views. People heard him say it the wrong way. Reasonable articulable suspicion. He said, yo, you suspect us of a crime?
Step out of the vehicle. Get the driver out. Get the passenger out. Step out your vehicle. All right, but listen, we're not gonna play this game, okay?
Sir.
I give people like double shots.
Sir, what did I do? What did I do?
He just told you.
You're being detained right now because you're on a traffic stop. I have a legal right
What?
to have you step out the vehicle. If you don't want to step out the vehicle, you'll automatically go to jail for obstruction.
Okay, so you heard that right. He said if you don't step out the vehicle, y'all charge you with obstruction. So I told you guys, now I don't sell you guys anything. This is pure free information because I love my people. Okay, more than. It's funny I said more. No pun intended, but more than the Moors. I love my people more than the Moors because I'm not going to sell you some fake bullshit. I'm telling you. When an officer says step out the car, that's no debate. Not for discussions, not for negotiations. You can't compromise. Okay? It's always under the threat of arrest when they say step out the car. You heard me clear. You can take what I'm saying for face value, or you can do what he's about to do. Or I'm sorry, I don't know what he's about to do. Or you can do what some people have done and not step out the car and then been drugged out the car. And some send a dog in the car. And you run out the car anyway. So some bash your window, your driver's side window to get you out, but you're getting out. One way or another, you will not be in that car. Okay? They will not leave with you in that car. You will be drugged out. You'll be tased. You'll miss some teeth. You'll have an eye fracture, but you will get out that car. And it's all justified at that point.
Obstruction. Why are you detaining me? Sir.
He asked why detaining him. Well, first of all, you better comply to that directive, which is get out the car. Then you can ask those questions he might answer, but you are now contesting his directive, and cops are human beings. He's emotional. You challenge his authority, so yeah, things can go left.
Sir, why are you detaining me?
You need to step out of the vehicle. You're about to go to jail for OGA. Okay?
Sir, I'm
obstruction of government operation.
You better get out that car, brother. If you know what's best for you. You see, his Moore's passenger friend got quiet.
I want more.
Put your phone down.
We got right.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
All right, so that was over. Yeah, now they start recording. So let me do one more because they went to jail. This one, I think we already seen. No. Okay. So now this one right here, a close friend sent me this as proof that the Moore was able to leave the scene without incident. But when I watched it, I seen something different than him. And when I called him on it, he ain't want to talk on the phone or do nothing. He calls me all the time, but for this case, he ain't want to call me and speak about it. Matter of fact, let me send him this video. Okay, hold on. Let me send him this video. Because this brother right here left with about 20 tickets. It's like, yo, he left. See, he didn't get arrested. He had 20 tickets. All right, so hold on. Let me. Let me send his brother this right here. Let me send his video. Let me send his brother this video. Give me a second. Because he's the one that sent me this this video. I'm like, how was this a win for the Moors? This was a straight up L.
Fuck out of here. They ain't got no fucking jurisdiction over us. We're Moors, and they know what this flag means. They know what this means.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo, he got a white pickup. He's he got the flag outside the car. This is very embarrassing as a black male. He as a black man, he has the flag outside the car, saying they got no jurisdiction over me. They know what this means. I mean, if the Moors in America had any contract, that would have to be pre-chattel slavery, 1500, something like that. Dude, why do you believe that contract still exists when America is the strongest nation in the world? America is in a position that Tariq Nasheed usually says, which is, I'm white and I say so. You dig? So unless it's on record that your empire, your government, your status correction is respected by them, then it's not. We can just assume it's not. All right. So from now on, we have to just go with this logic. If America has not stamped your position, we can assume your position is weak and not respected by this government. Okay?
this means. They ain't dumb.
They ain't dumb. They ain't dumb.
They know this right to they swore oath on this. They took the oath
Yeah,
on this.
they got all those cop cars out there, right? Guys act like a fool.
Man,
this joint crazy.
No, they swore oath on this. They know. Y'all want
Yeah, he got a flag outside of his car, bro.
Hey, y'all fictitious fake. That's what the U.S. citizens, they fake fictitious. Fake fictitious. That's what y'all are. Y'all got no jurisdiction over us.
Yeah, fuck me.
Sir,
Man, this is crazy. He got a sense of humor.
You ain't lied, no. They can't stop you from doing nothing.
I want no more of this. Yeah, y'all funny, yo. I bet he don't want to do that no more. Yeah, y'all funny, yeah. What's your supervisor?
All this. I ain't under none of y'all's jurisdiction.
I got none of y'all's jurisdiction. He got a Moorish flag out the car, yelling and screaming. They got police cars everywhere.
My man going. Pittsburgh, PA.
That's Pennsylvania. That's east. That's near me. Now, Pittsburgh's some hours away.
Man threw a flag out the stove though.
He got a flag. He put a flag outside the car. He's recording. So this is sad, man. Yo, we are taking advantage of us because we're weak. So you got the cockroaches taking advantage of the ants. The ants taking advantage of the crickets. The crickets taking advantage of the flies.
You need to know.
The flies taking advantage of the mosquitoes. That's what we're doing.
Ladies.
We're in a scavenger sovereign state where it's doggy dog. The doggy dog world.
They ain't got the standards. This ain't their land. This is my land. This is my land. I'm a Moor. I'm allowed to travel this land. They swore an oath to this. This is the oath they swore on. They all know.
Yo, he's handing out papers, bro.
I'm not under y'all's jurisdiction. I don't have a contract with y'all.
He don't need a license.
No contract with y'all. I was just downtown with this same bullshit. Sorry, motherfucker.
Oh, this is really embarrassing.
You see that, right?
Yeah, I'm a Moor. I got every right to travel from here to Temple.
Hey, cameraman, why would they touch him? Like, there's no need. If they order him out the car, they'll touch him. But they in that car writing the 20 goddamn tickets. They don't gotta touch them. They just gonna violate them. That's all.
Timbuktu.
Oh, they want to be the Jews. They want to be the fake Jews. They know what this means. Oh, you know what this means. How they're white on this fake ass motherfucker.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we ain't going nowhere, baby. We ain't going nowhere.
We got dogs.
Oh yeah, that K9 unit get you out that car though.
Oh yeah, I know you do. I know we get the fuck out of here. I ain't paying this, so don't even give. I'm not taking it.
See, I know police officers wish they can like. This is so long ago. I doubt if body cams was around. But I know one police officer wanted to pull his phone out and record this and laugh later.
Fake cops. They're fake and fictitious. Entity, corporation. That's what they stand for. That's why the women love us. Love us.
That's why the women love us.
Man, I ain't giving you shit.
Hey yo, and that was cool from the cameraman. Hey yo, why black men reduce themselves just for sexual reproduction? But the women love us. Yeah, like that's a win. I mean, yeah, it's just mind-boggling when we could reduce ourselves to just being a sex partner. Nothing, not that women love us because we're just so smart and brilliant. We're innovators. We built the country and we're building more things now. We own Tesla and all this type of stuff, Microsoft, Walmart, Bezos. No, we just have sex good. Like, and that's where we stamp, that's where we plant our flag at. That we have sex good. That's weird, man. Like, that's some caveman primitive mindset stuff, man.
They ain't gonna do a fucking thing. Motherfuckers
But
ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing. Fuck out of here.
and this is a win. Yeah, the person who sent me this video.
Man, we got backed up traffic out this bitch.
This was a win for that person. This guy yelling out a truck holding a flag and holding up a piece of paper don't mean shit.
Pittsburgh police out this bitch. Like,
this was a win.
No joke, dog. My man threw the
This is a win of black
flag
folks.
out the fucking whip. Fuck you. This shit funny as hell. Yeah, I'm recording all this because this shit right here is like, whoa. Like, rob out this bitch. Yeah. Motherfucker get educated today because they ain't touched that man. You see that? They ain't touched him.
Yeah, the cameraman, he's so what's the word? He's so traumatized, post-traumatic, not slave syndrome, but post-traumatic. What's the correct PTSD? Post-traumatic something syndrome. Like, that's what he's dealing with. Like, he just expects cops just to beat on black folks, and if that doesn't happen, it's a win. But they ain't touching them because they don't have to.
Ain't pulled a pistol or nothing.
Why would they pull a pistol? You see, like, we're traumatized where we think all interaction with cops need to end on them touching us or pulling out their guns, threatening to shoot us. That's how we think nowadays. Like, just all cops want to just beat the shit out of us and shoot us.
I ain't under none of their fucking jurisdiction. We're Moors. Remember that. We're Moors.
We're Moors. This is really embarrassing, bro.
And I got Article 6 right here.
No jurisdiction, but he pulled over though. Okay, so imagine you're in traffic, right? You're driving on the highway. Everybody listening to this voice. What it means to have no jurisdiction. You are driving, and the person behind you wants you to go faster. They're tailgating you because they're in a rush, and they're blowing a horn, high beaming you, and flashing you. That's called no jurisdiction. You don't have to pull over. You don't have to let them go past. You can just keep going the speed limit or whatever speed you want as lawful. That's called no jurisdiction. They have no jurisdiction to pull you over, to violate you, to make you accountable for not letting them go past you. That's no jurisdiction. And guess what? You're going to ignore them totally when they high beam and whatever the flash, beat the horn. You ignore them totally because they have no jurisdiction, and you understand that. But if these police officers, as are as powerless as a person tailgating you, why did he pull over if he really believed they had no jurisdiction? I rest my case.
Peace treaty. Look, and all they want to know, here go Article 6 right here.
Man, then pulled out all the laws.
Black Rock,
Oh,
like,
my
whoa,
God.
more beta blues, more money, more problems. Y'all funny, yo. He's more likely to be arrested. Hey, yo, what they say in Spanish? Guy, I forgot, man. I can't even say it. I'm going to ruin the Spanish language. Let me not say it.
Oh, my goodness. He ain't even playing with him. Like, you see the flag? Dude.
And y'all know it. Because they know it, we just don't know it.
All right, I'm tired of my arguing.
I know it.
I want you to see conclusion.
Go get the white shirt. I don't want none of that shit. I'm not taking that.
Okay, hold on. So now this officer came to him with 25 tickets, traffic violations, citations, and he's gonna say, "I don't want none of that. Look at my white shirt. Look."
They don't even know what the fuck to say. Like, these motherfuckers is lost.
No, they're not. They
They don't
confused
even
at this
know what to
nigga.
say, dog.
They're not gonna talk. They're gonna hand him his ticket. Look, there you go. So he got about 25 tickets for this yelling ass Negro. He said, "I want none of that shit. I'm not taking that." But he gonna take it though. He ain't gonna throw it on the ground because then they'll pull him. They'll make him pick it up.
I'm not even tossing all you what disrespect, motherfucker.
Fictitious.
None of that shit. But I tell you, they ain't gonna do shit.
He took it though.
I give a fuck. I ain't got
I guess I'll fuck.
I'm gonna travel from here to Timbuktu. You see that?
He said Timbuktu.
Oh, don't worry, I will.
Oh my God. Dude is killing me.
Man, he dropped his flag. Oh my God.
Oh, you ain't know about this? Oh,
Now
you
the cameraman can come closer, by the way. The cameraman, now he's policing the police. He's doing his duty. He's obligated to police the police, and he's doing it. So I respect it. It's your flag, my man.
I was getting the flag.
No,
Somebody safety. He ain't gonna do nothing to me. That man ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm one of him. You think he gonna do something to me? Get the fuck up out of here. Hey.
Oh my God. Talking shit is power to them.
They knew that shit. The fuck out of here.
Now he left with about 25
My man
tickets.
gone on him. Bye-bye, Pittsburgh.
They'll see him in court though.
You got like six cars on this show for what?
Now the cameraman and the driver see this as a victory. He got about 25 tickets in his hand. Okay? He drove off and he'll be in a Pittsburgh court. Or his driving privileges will be suspended. Facts. Like Office Max. You dig? So this was a loss. This was a total L for the driver and the cameraman. This is not a win. So my boy who sent me that link, I tagged you. I sent the link to your inbox. You dig? This was a loss. I know you sent me this link and you ain't want to talk about it. Right? But I resurrected the conversation again for you, my boy. I forgive, but I don't forget. Trust me. Especially when I'm challenged. Whoever challenged me, I'll never forget it. I might let it go because it's for the sake of sisterhood, brotherhood, family, but believe me, I didn't forget. And I can't wait to bring it back up. The first chance you give me, I'm bringing that thing back up. So that was an L for the driver. Ella, A. How that song go? My umbrella. That was a Ella, A. Under my umbrella, Ella, L, A. All right, so anyway, I don't want to make this too long because I want the lives to be, not 10 hours, 8 hours, 12. I try to avoid that so people can go back and watch it. So this is going to be part 1 of Moors in Court. I showed you a couple of videos. This one's very hilarious. Believe me, I got more than that. I got funny ones, especially when it comes to white people. White people are worse Moors because they find themselves getting beat the fuck up. Okay, so if you want to see white folks trying this bullshit, the same. So now that's what Chief X was trying to point out to you guys. White folks are more violently attacked by police officers than black people. Okay, and look, they're gonna try the same stuff, but you're gonna see white officers have less tolerance for them, and they're gonna put hands and feet. And one officer let the dog in the car. So yeah, I know it's taboo. It's hard to believe, but man, a lot of instances, white folks are treated better, but also in the same flip, they are treated worse, far worse. They're like Brett Favre. Brett Favre had the most TDs, good, positive. He has the most interceptions, bad, negative. Okay? That's white folks in this country. They have the most positive, and they also have the most negative. Whatever positive you name, they're the most at that. Whatever negative, they're that too. They're Brett Favre of the American society. All right? So, again, I appreciate you guys showing love. I'm going to try to come back on here late for about an hour. I'll show more videos for just an hour. You got more than that? Yes, I do. And I appreciate every last one of you showing up. Please, if you're up, this is Friday night. You ain't got shit to do, Craig. Pull up again. The latest will be 12 or maybe 1. It'll be late. Maybe 12 or 1. But I'm definitely coming back on to finish some of this, right? Because I got a lot of videos and I want to get some out. And I got other videos like this. Boom. No, not that. This. Boom. I got that. These are positive videos for black people. So I don't always got negative. I keep the positive. You dig? Stop playing with me. I'm him. All right? Whatever that means. I like it. So I was talking to a young dude at the gym. I was training some guy, helping him out with some moves. And a young dude came up to me. He cool dude. He got like an old soul. 23, 24-year-old. He was like, yo, you got an extra pill? So I was confused because their language, their jargon, a little different than ours. In the basketball scene, a pill only means basketball to us. Okay? But we're talking about the youth. A pill means a little more than basketball. Extra pill means Molly, all that type of stuff. So I remember when I was in there, I seen 2 like Tylenols on the floor. Somebody left it from the night before. So he's like, you got an extra pill? Anybody got an extra pill? I was like, yo, I don't, but there's 2 pills down there. I don't know what they are, but it could be something for headaches. I'm thinking young dude had a headache. A little, you know what I mean? Hangover. So he was confused at that. He was like, nah, I mean basketball. I'm like, oh, my boy, young guys got to be more specific. You got to use better language than pill because our old generation, when we hear pill from a young generation, we think of Molly, Percocet, you dig, ecstasy. That's how we think from you because you're young. If you was older, I would know you're talking about basketball. Because you're younger than me, I'm looking at pill like the way I hear you guys say pill, and that's some drugs. So he was kind of offended a little bit, but I explained to him. He felt a little better. You dig? But yeah, man, he old soul dude, young dude, old soul. He got it, and he's very intelligent, by the way. 23-year-old, I come to him for certain advice. Very, 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 very mature young dude, business owner. You dig? Again, certain things I come to him for advice. 23 years old, about real life. I was like, yo, what do you think about this? Because the dude is that experienced or that knowledgeable in some of these things, man. So, you know, it's humbling. It's a humbling experience to come to somebody who's 20 years younger than you for like a life advice. Believe me, that's something you don't want to do. A humbling experience. But when they got it, they got it. And a lot of his advice be good. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So nobody can say on Bob Sports ain't humble. That's called humility. Okay. So anyway, Weezy out of here. Check me out late tonight. I'm going live showing Morty's Morris in court. And then I'm going to go live again probably same time today as I did today. I'm trying to do early live so I ain't got to be here too late to fall asleep. So tonight I'll be for 1 hour, 40 minutes, and I'm gone.